If I get up every day and I'm like, man, I'm a Black woman, it's gonna be hard, it's gonna be this, then guess
Mhm.
what? It's gonna be hard and it's gonna be that.
Right.
But if I get up and I say, man, I'm a Black woman, I got the juice, I got the sauce, I got the magic, people love it,
Yeah.
then that's the energy that I put out, and I feel like I'll get that back.
What's up, world? It's your boy Big Court of the Holdin Court podcast, man. What's up with your producer, Ken?
Hey, today's a special day.
Yeah, today is an interesting day, a special day for sure. Man, we broadcasting live from Burbank, California. You know what I'm saying? From
We've
the
said
hood.
L.A., Hollywood, and Burbank.
LA, Hollywood. Man, we all that. We
Yeah.
all that. We done brought the hood to Hollywood. But today, you know what I mean, is a special day because it's a family affair now. A lot of people, a lot of the comments, producer Ken, man, a lot of people in general, people are still putting together that I'm Court Dog from CCG. And people are always curious about my personal life because
You cut the braids off.
I cut the braids off.
It's hard to figure it out.
But I'm a very, very private person until now. I have brought my oldest daughter, Rachel Renee, into the fold, So I have her co-hosting, guest hosting with us. You know what I mean? This is my oldest child. Yes, she's 30. You know what I mean? Yes, I have a child that old. But
Getting old, baby. Getting
you
old.
know what I mean?
How do you?
But
Right.
yeah, we have
35.
we have my oldest baby in here. So man, listen, I don't want no bullshit in the comments. I know she's beautiful. Listen, I'm a gangster. I'm still a gangster. You heard me. But we got my daughter, Rachel Renee.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
I got to clap for my
Thank you.
child.
Yeah, we clap for it.
Yeah, we got my youngest daughter, Courtney, off camera over there.
Boots.
Boots. Yeah. So Holdin Court has become a family affair. You know what I'm saying? In a few years, we're gonna have.
I don't want to
the
see no
boys.
bullshit either because I've known her since a baby too. So
Yeah.
we'll pull up bad boy style, opening the door. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we still about that.
Two
We
straps.
still with that. You know what I mean?
Uncle Ken will be there too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but no, it's all good. How are you today, Rachel Renee?
I'm Rachel Renee. Yes, I'm doing well. I'm
Yeah.
happy. I'm excited to be here.
Good. So y'all's name. Well, let me not. I know this is my child, right? So
Mhm.
let her tell who she is and all of that shit. But if y'all hear me call her Monkey, okay, that's not disparaging. That's not disrespectful. This is a nickname we had given her since she was a child, a toddler. So
Baby Rachel.
Baby Rachel and Monkey. If you hear me say that, that's just, parent talk. But so what's up with you, Rachel Renee?
Nothing much. Happy to be here.
Okay.
Excited you finally drugged me on camera, so
I
that's
did.
good.
I
What's
did.
I mean, look, it's family, so I'm excited. But like, what have you been up to? Because he keeps me up to date on
Mhm.
like, oh, she out in Vegas, oh, she out in the Midwest, she out here. But like,
Yes.
where are you at today?
So I am officially back in LA, which is my second home. So y'all know I'm
Welcome
originally
home.
from Kansas City too. I got a good chunk of Kansas City under my belt. We relocated to, Los Angeles in about 2003, 2004. So I was a halfie for a long time. Moved around a lot after college. I was done with LA. I said, man, it's expensive. I'm done. Went to Vegas. Didn't like that. It was literally like hell on earth. Didn't like the heat. Didn't like the dry weather.
You
Went
see
back
how I
to
paid attention, bro? We ain't talking about that.
No,
I knew
yeah.
she was in Vegas. I knew she was in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kept
Yeah.
tabs. I knew.
Vegas. It was a cool stint, but couldn't stay there forever. Went back to Kansas City for a little bit. Didn't like the cold too much.
Had a shop out there, right?
So I had an office in Kansas City.
Okay.
So the last thing that you probably heard from me, I had a clothing line when I was in college. I went to Art Institute, North Hollywood. Shout out, it's not there no more. So they need to go
Oh.
ahead and dismiss them loans. But but I went to Art Institute, had a clothing line. It was bitchy clothing. You came up with the name. That failed after a couple years. I didn't understand marketing at that point, in digital
Gotcha.
marketing and social media. I was young, just starting out.
I wouldn't necessarily say fail. I mean, you pivoted. You
Okay,
you
I like
aspired
that.
to do other things. So I
Yes.
wouldn't say fail.
Thank you.
Fail's not a bad thing either, though.
No, that's true. I mean, it's a lesson, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't say fail. I don't
Yes.
think she gave it.
I
There
failed
was
as a
something.
rapper, so don't worry about it.
No.
I'm a failed rapper.
Listen,
Hey.
I have made failure an art form. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
No one has failed as gracefully as me. Okay, I hold the belt, but yeah. So
Well, I felt like the runner up, but that was okay. It was good. I got a lot of experience. Like that was when I
uh-huh.
did my first website. I had experience doing wholesaling and just doing the whole thing. I did pop-up shops. So it was all it's everything's an experience. So after that, I worked for a long time. It was funny because my dad, when we first had the conversation about college, he told my mom and he said, "This is not a working personality." And you said that. It always stuck with me because I understood what you meant when I
Yeah,
was 18, but it finally hit home when I really
yeah,
got out there. Then I started feeling like I was working in the box.
yeah.
So I said, yeah, I'm not a working personality. So, but I got a lot of good experience. I worked for a lot of good companies, small companies. I got a lot of free game. I worked for a lot of different people, especially in LA. I got to work for Jews, Koreans, Italians, and you definitely learn a lot. And now I'm settled on to I have an e-commerce marketplace and a digital marketplace that I'm building right now. And that's where now all of my skills have been able to culminate into this. And
Okay.
this is what I'm most excited
What are you
about.
guys gonna be selling on the
Mhm.
marketplace?
So the
Or
marketplace
is that
is
too soon? Am I jumping the gun?
no, no, this is good. So no, it's we're building it right now. So what it is so it's called Goat Moves. Yes, Goat GOAT, the greatest of all time, goat-moves.com. And what it is, it's basically like Amazon meets Fiverr meets Angie's List. I'm basically creating a mega platform for the modern entrepreneur. So, today is 2022, going into 2023. Everybody does a little bit of everything. They sell stuff, they sell consultations, they sell courses, they do in person services. So, my platform is really for the modern entrepreneur. So, instead of having to sign up on a variety of platforms and pay all these high commission fees, you can go to the Go Moves platform, have a flat commission fee, increase your sales, and then your customer will be able to find you in all of your services.
Okay. So
See that?
she pulling it together.
Yeah, you see that? You see that?
Pulling it
I'm a
together.
proud Paul.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, what
Okay.
was it like being a child, the firstborn of such a great, infamous,
Oh my
you know,
God.
great, infamous,
Here we go.
big court dog? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what is that like growing up with a dad like that?
That's so funny. I know the Kansas City Chief.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
um,
Because I heard your dad was like, pretty cool.
that's what you heard.
I
Okay,
heard,
nah,
yeah, that
that's
nigga was
cool.
the shit.
No, it was good. It's funny, now that you've always said this too, especially when I was younger. So y'all know my parents had me young.
Hmm.
Shout out to mother, aka
Hmm.
Yomi Atunike. Um, it was different. It was definitely an experience, growing up with younger parents, and I think that you don't really fully understand it till you get grown,
Hmm.
but it's funny because when you're young, it's your normal. You think that everybody's parents is 20 some years old
Yeah.
and y'all riding around Kansas City mobbing. I got to
Yeah.
see my dad go through his entire transition of life for real. I was
Mm.
I was at your graduation.
You
I was
did
at your
come
high
to
school
my high school
graduation.
graduation.
Yeah.
I went to my mom's too.
Yeah, because your mom had you at
My
15
mom
too.
had, what's funny is you and I would actually connect on more than you think because
Hmm.
my mom was 15 when she had me. So I
Man.
rode around with her. I went to Pacific High School, North
Yeah.
Highlands,
Yeah.
California. Went to her, walked the stage with her.
That's
The whole nine.
crazy.
We did the same shit.
Yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, it's let me turn this off. No, it's definitely an experience. And same I was at my mother's she graduated nursing school.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, every car you had,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
a transition. We went from the blue colors to the orange colors with the
Yeah.
Dayton's and the hydraulics in
Yeah.
Kansas City,
You
going to
remember
go
you
chicken
remember the
go.
copper penny?
Oh yeah, they called it the
Yeah, the
copper
copper
penny.
penny.
Wasn't it a
I,
Firebird?
yeah, it was. I was
Yeah,
about to
it
say
was a
Trans Am. It was
Firebird.
a
Yep.
Firebird. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Those was hot back in the day though.
Yeah, fucking right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it didn't
So
come out like I wanted it to because I was trying to get it like a champagne color.
that's right.
Yep. And that bitch, I picked it up. I was like, nah, I don't think that's what
That's
I
back when
picked.
people would paint. I remember painting my old Camaro with a
Yeah.
black cherry. When the sun would hit it, it would hit red.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'd be over at the Mako. Like,
I got that bitch in Mako.
yeah,
Yeah,
hey,
that Mako special.
That's smooth.
that's real
Yeah.
shit. That's real
Uh-huh.
shit.
Yeah. What about music? What are some of your musical tastes? that you were raised on?
Oh damn.
Wow. Yeah, completely inappropriate. No, so I remember, you young, but when your consciousness really hits and you're like,
Mhm,
okay, I'm inside the body and I can remember. So I remember I liked Bone Thugs off the jump. I was a
mhm.
Bone Thug fan.
Bone was the shit.
Man, every Bone Mo Thugs, Family Tree,
Yeah, Bone
the
was the shit.
Bone was just raining.
Mhm.
NWA was heavy. DJ Quick, Spice One, Brother Lynch, Ghetto Boys.
Come
Ghetto
on.
Boys was
Yeah.
Ghetto
Ghetto
Boys,
Boys for
Come on.
sure.
UGK, 36 Mafia before I gotta stay fly. Because I remember
The
when we moved
original.
the
Yeah.
original
Original.
36
Yeah.
Okay.
Mafia, like,
Yeah.
yeah. So that was fun. That was a
Uh,
good time. And same when we moved to, because it was funny. Remember when I moved to when I went to Paul Revere
mhm.
and everybody was like, oh, because I gotta stay fly came out. They was like, man, have you heard of 36 Mafia? I didn't even know that people didn't know
Yeah.
they was famous. And then we liked
It was
like
hood famous
hood
before that.
famous,
Yeah.
Yeah.
do or die,
Uh-huh.
crucial conflict, like all the Midwest down south.
Smoking
So
on hay. Oh shit.
That's all the shit she was raised on.
Yeah.
I remember one time walking past her room, and she had a playlist. I think iPods was the shit back then.
yeah.
And I remember I heard, it was
I was playing
Lynch.
I was
Was it
playing no, I think I was both because I got a 90s nigga playlist. So
Okay.
literally I call it that. It's my 90s nigga playlist. And it's Spice One on there. It's everything
Oh
from,
Uh-huh.
Spice One is up in the house with the
Yeah.
niggity niggity nine. And
Oh.
we go
He
to
was on that Jamaican shit
He
too.
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
Heavy.
Let's go.
heavy. That's the shit I raised her on.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because when I heard it, I tripped. I was like, "What the fuck is she doing listening to that?" And then it dawned on me. Like it was like,
Yeah,
damn,
shoot.
this is what you raised her on.
Yeah.
Just like how my parents raised me on Confunction and Cameo and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, when she hear this shit, it bring back, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
oh,
very aware.
I hear Brother Lynch. What's your song? Rest in Piss.
Yes.
That's one of her favorite
Oh, with the
songs.
keys
Had
at
to
the
get
beginning?
you.
Yeah, Rest in Piss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shit.
And I'm like, damn, when she hear that, it's gonna be like, oh, I remember Christmas.
Literally. It's funny that you
That's
say that. When I
crazy.
listen to songs, especially, like you a chick, you get out here, you start dating,
Uh-huh.
and you play songs with niggas, and they think it's another nigga that put you on in that. And I'm like, nah, this my dad. This is how I grew up,
What's that Was Homie Quan skit where she got a gangster dad? Remember that one?
Yeah, we watched
That was
that.
BG
Yeah.
Bop.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to
Alright.
Bop. Yeah, rest
Yeah.
in peace to Bop. Yep.
Oh man, rest in peace, Bop.
Yeah, when you started dating Monkey, how difficult was it for you with having such a strong father figure? Were the niggas intimidated? I mean, I know the answer, but for the listeners and for the viewers,
I love how he bigging himself up,
I
bro.
know. He like,
this is
you-
this is my child. This is a proud.
That's like me
dad
being like,
moment.
man, when you came here when you was at 9, how did it feel to have such an amazing camera operator?
he a Leo. He gonna
Yeah.
take credit for it.
I'm
He
a
like,
Leo
this
too.
is-
Yeah.
I'm a Leo
Oh,
too.
God, I didn't know that.
But this is her experience. These are her
What did it feel like when
experiences.
white camera guys started coming around you as a kid and they was just fly and doing
That
it?
is so funny. It's interesting. It's always interesting. I mean, between the cultural shifts of now and then it was funny because me and my best friend was just talking about this because it. I don't know what to say, honestly. I'm just as confused as everybody else. I mean, I think already to be a solid Black family is already, especially out here. We get stares when we go out in public.
Right.
So for anybody, I hate to say it, but if you have a relationship with your father off the bat, it's
Mhm.
already like, oh dang, your dad, your parents are still together,
Mhm.
things
It's
like
an
that.
anomaly.
It is. It's an
Mhm.
anomaly.
And
So
y'all solid. Y'all move as a unit.
yes,
Mhm.
no, for sure.
I've always had love for that.
Mhm.
Not for sure, but yeah, it was just different, and then with how young you were, I
Mhm.
think that threw dudes off too. Like, dang, your dad is like, it's like he like a bro, but he's not. Like, you don't really know where you
Yeah.
stand. But and then too, I'm such a strong personality because I do have a lot of his
Uh-huh.
personality, and
Uh-huh.
I mean, as I've gotten older, I feel like I've softened up a little bit. I've tried to, but when I
Mhm.
was younger, boy, I was a
Mhm.
junkyard dog. Like I didn't
Yeah.
care about nobody's feelings.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
care about none of that. It was like,
I used to tell her, I'd be like, that's a little bit too much of me and you.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
We all soften as we get older.
Yeah,
You
for
yes.
sure.
start to mature and
Yeah.
For
start to
sure.
grow and be like,
That's
oh,
the
okay.
journey. That's the
Yeah.
journey.
You mellow out.
hmm
So it's been cool.
What made you not go into like an entertainment space? I mean, I know you're doing this now with me, but what
hmm
made you not want to go, into that?
Okay, so remember when I was younger and I was hell bent on being a model and
Uh-huh.
supermodel.
Uh-huh.
So when we moved, so funny story, when we moved to LA and then my dreams kind of shifted because I said, okay, I used to write my
hmm
stories and I was like, man, I really want to be a screenwriter. I want to be behind the scenes. What stopped me from going in front of the camera was just one, I am a little camera shy.
hmm
And then two, I am a private person
Yeah.
too. Like
Yeah.
I like being in my own space. I
hmm
like being able to come and go as I please.
hmm
I don't want to, even though I'm sociable, I'm
hmm
not a social person per se.
hmm
So I just know that on the other side of the camera and people liking you and, or wanting to talk to you and seeing you, it comes with a lot of attention. It just comes with a lot. And I'm like, I don't want my life to change like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as time goes on, media becomes just more of the force that it is. It's like, it's just a necessary evil for me.
Yeah.
Like I really admire people that can naturally, like, just get in
hmm
front of the camera, just be famous and just, they really soak it in. I'm like,
hmm
dang, I get nervous.
You preaching to the choir. I hate this shit.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
he's only here because I drug him here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I like,
I
I
like
actually
being.
drug both you motherfuckers here.
yes, yes, exactly. I
I've
said,
gotten more comfortable with it as it goes on, but I don't
Yeah.
like, I keep over here to the keys, you know what I mean?
yeah.
He
Let me
sure
hit
do.
record.
That's what I wanted to do. And then my business, and that's what my partner even told me too. Shout out to Isaac at Dynamo Methods, Isaac Wambua. But that's what he told me. He said, you got to get out in front of it. Nobody can push your brand, your business, your story like you, because I was just trying to stay on LinkedIn and just
Mhm.
be, the
Mhm.
behind the scenes CEO. It's not
Mhm.
it's not the day and age anymore.
Mhm.
Content. I feel like content. I think everything has shifted to content is key for
Yes.
Yeah.
even. We were just having this conversation at our company that you're starting to see brands, not networks but brands, Toyota,
Yes.
making their own content
Yes.
Yeah.
because at this point it's like, well, we sell trucks, we have
Mhm.
a product,
Mm-hmm.
but we have to make content about that.
Yep.
And it will shift. I do believe because it's so accessible now to like
Mhm.
to just push your own content out to your
Yep.
own streaming platform or just
Yep.
push it out to YouTube.
You have to.
That you're gonna have companies like Dove who are like, yeah, we're a content company too. We
I mean,
make
look at
we,
how they go back and forth on Twitter now.
Yeah.
Joking.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Wendy's be
Yeah.
roasting people.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wendy's.
I'd be like, who they got running their accounts?
I love it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
No,
so
that shit's funny.
it is key. You do have to kind of like get in front of it now and start to
Mm-hmm.
create
Because
content.
people want transparency, and I
Yeah.
get it. They want to get to know. They want to know what they're buying into. They want to know the person behind the company. They want to identify with you, And I think too that's what stopped me as well because just like how he was getting on me. I'm gonna put this on camera. He was don't cut this out either. He was getting on me the other night, telling me that I was a mean girl
I
on
didn't
my
say
social
you
media.
were.
You said I
just
came
said
off
it
like a mean girl,
It's
and I
mean
was
girl
like,
adjacent.
okay, that's fine. I was like, man, listen. I said they gonna have to get it. I said I am who I am. Like I'm, and I am. I am a little bit more assertive and direct and sometimes too
Wonder where that come from.
right exactly. That's why I was like, really, but I get it, but it's just that's it keeps you safe. That's how you got to live your life. Like I don't want to play games with people. I don't want people to play games with me, and I like getting people to the root of whatever it is, and it sometimes it may come across a little harsh, but I'm like, hey, at least I tell you versus somebody else or you going through it, you don't have to.
That's real.
How do you feel? I mean, you as a African American female going into business,
Yeah.
are you prepared for that and the hurdles that come with that?
Oh man, that's a good question. I'm so glad you asked that. So it's and how I'm very fair. So when I was younger, I was a lot more militant. And, because he used to say that, like, man, you so militant. Because I used to read I was very into
Hey, I know
Black
your mama
history.
saw
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, my mama had me reading these books. And
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I'm very much I'm still that militant person. And I do understand, the systematic oppression that happens and that has been
doubt.
going on for years. And, I understand how racism and oppression has transformed. However, in that same breath, it's 2023. We have a lot of opportunities that a lot of the previous generations didn't have, one being the internet. And I know younger folks don't like hearing that, but Like I was just telling you when we was on my way over here, like even the criminals back in the day, like if they wanted to do something, they had to go to the library and research it. Like one of my best friends, her dad was a prominent criminal out of Chicago, was in the newspaper, everything. He had to go to the library and research,
Yeah.
how to do these things. And, finding people to get the information that you needed was a lot harder, and people could gatekeep a lot easier. Whereas now, you can get on Google, you can get on YouTube University,
Yeah.
you can do whatever it is you got to do to get the information. So what I do is I don't focus on being a Black woman in business. And this is also why I got my partner. My partner is from Kenya. He's from literally a village in Africa.
Mhm.
And he now has been able to establish a successful, consulting company that is now starting to branch out. So, and he said the same thing. He said, I'm really big on your belief system. If I get up every day and I'm like, man, I'm a Black woman, it's going to be hard, it's going to be this, then guess
Mhm.
what? It's going to be hard and it's going to be that.
Right.
But if I get
Mhm.
up and I say, man, I'm a Black woman, I got the juice, I got the sauce, I got the magic, people love it,
Yeah.
then that's the energy that I put out. And I feel like I'll get that back. And I feel like if there's always a will, there's going to be a way.
Mhm.
You got Black Wall Street, you had so many Black people before this time that were able to establish wealth.
Mhm.
Before the internet, when racism was at its prime, when they was walking out seeing strange fruit for real. So if they can do it at that time, nothing is stopping me now.
Mhm.
So
And
that's how I
and
feel.
he and I speak about this all the time, because I do think that there's a lot of ownership that white folks have to take, and there's like a lot of white fragility and people
For sure.
not wanting to own shit, and you got to. But everyone has their work to do, right? Like
Yes.
like we all
Absolutely.
have our work to do, and I
Mhm.
think that's kind of what you're hitting on.
Yeah.
So in my point of view,
Mhm.
I'm always taking it on where it's like, nah, it's not on y'all. We really got to. But
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
think that I hear a lot of on your perspective, like, nah, we got our shit to do too. And I
Yeah.
think people just need a clean house. Everybody,
Yes.
every
Everybody.
race, everybody should take
Mhm.
accountability for the
Mhm.
shit that even if
Accountability.
yeah,
Yeah.
even if you feel like, well, that ain't on me necessarily,
Right.
but I benefit from the effects of
Mhm.
Yeah.
the systemic racism. I mean, that's true. Like for
Yeah.
me,
Mhm.
my family, they came from Italy in the 1900s, early 1900s. So it's
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
yeah, we weren't around for a lot of that shit,
Yes.
but we did profit off of it,
Right.
and we did benefit off of that. And he
Yes.
knows, like I've caught gun cases and shit, and I
Mhm.
was going through one since
Yeah.
we've been friends, and I told him, I called him on the phone, said, I'm playing the white card.
Yeah. Real
Like,
shit.
and he said, shit, I'll play that motherfucker if I had it too.
Exactly.
So I
Real
mean,
shit.
you got to understand
Yeah.
that is the country we live in, and
Yes.
it's shitty. And like on our end, we got to take our accountability as white folks. I'm talking to y'all, white folks.
Mhm.
Like we have to take our accountability, and if I think more people clean house and just own their own shit, then we can try to move forward like
No.
as humans. Hopefully,
Yeah.
I have interracial
Exactly.
children, so I'm
Exactly.
always hopeful that it's like. I
Yes.
hope now
Mhm.
they came out very fucking white, but their mom is Puerto Rican and Black, so they
Uh-huh.
will have the benefits probably through life
Mhm.
of white privilege because they look like me.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But I still hope for their cousins and their family and our family
Mhm.
collectively that it's like
Mhm.
we could try to move forward, but
They
whew,
will. And I think
sometimes
it's a good balance. I mean, I think especially with that's one thing I do like about social media. I mean, it has a lot of flaws, but that is one thing I like is the availability of information and the
Mhm.
availability of just people being transparent. I mean, you scroll on TikTok, you have so many white people that are relaying Black history I didn't
Mhm.
even know, and telling Black people, hey, this is what my family, like, you said, like, this is what my family was able to, reap the benefits of. This is the
Mhm.
the generational wealth we've been able to establish. And, and all of that is important. I feel like you said everybody has their part to play,
yeah.
but the thing is, and I've said this and they probably had dragged me, but oh well, but I told my friend this because I have unpopular opinions. It is what it is.
So we
But
all do.
I said, exactly, right?
Yeah.
I said, but think about this though. I said, I said, let's go off of Black people and the beliefs that they have now. You talk to your average Black person, they'll tell you like, man, we was kings and queens and everything came from us, the pyramids, the this and that, right? Okay, so I'll roll with you on that. But imagine if white men had sat back and been like, man, you know what, Karen? I can't do it. They're tall, they're big, they're building these pyramids, they're on these horses, they're going around killing everybody, they're so big and strong. Karen, I can't do it. I need your help. white people wouldn't be in a position of power that they was in today too. So you see what I'm saying? If we're just going
Yeah.
off of that logic.
Mhm.
So that's the same mindset that I just have. Like, I don't have time to worry about like, oh, what they doing over there, what law has passed for this, or what, not saying that that isn't important,
Mhm.
but it's just that I'm so just laser focused on the goal. And then when I get there, that's when I can say, okay, I can turn around and say, okay, now I can open up the doors for more
Mhm.
people, provide more spaces, more platforms,
Mhm.
That's what this
for
guy say
people.
about me all the time.
For
He
real.
said, "Man, you a dude that walk through the door. They just don't realize who coming in behind you."
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I might crack that bitch open and be like,
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah. No,
we
real talk.
we in here
Yeah.
now.
My
Real
name is
talk.
Rachel.
Yeah, and
I'm
that's why
fluid.
I've always commended him, because he does do that.
Mhm.
He'll use his, like you said, he'll use his whiteness to get in there,
Mhm.
but to a large extent, they don't realize that they let a nigga in. You know what I mean?
I
Yes.
Because you didn't see what was coming, who was waiting in the parking lot for him to get in,
Exactly.
who he calling.
Hey.
Like, hey, come on, hey, J-Bone, yeah, we
Yeah.
in this bitch. They gon'
It's been 2+ decades of me kicking these motherfucking doors
Yeah,
open and trying
no,
to
real
get shit
shit.
cracking.
Real
We've
shit.
always had allies, even in
Yeah.
slavery. That's how the when you look, and even if you look at when people was getting away, the Underground Railroad system, it took a lot of white people for that to happen as
Mhm.
well.
Mhm.
So it's a blessing.
Speaking of which, you said your partner's from Kenya. How tapped in are you with your African roots? Because people don't know she's about what? So it would be
25,
half, 25%
25%
Nigerian.
Nigerian, yeah,
Yeah.
by way of my mother.
Yoruba.
Yeah, yeah. Nadibo, Yoruba.
Yes. Thanks to your mother, who is 50%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
50% Nigerian and 100% black.
Right.
Y'all gonna
you
get yourself in trouble.
I know, right? I know. She, it was same thing. Like as you get older, you just look back on your life. But I really appreciate that, especially being, African American, African Black, whatever you want to call it. Because yeah, a lot of people. And it's funny because mom used to tell me that too when I was younger. She said, your roots is right there. You ain't gotta go search. You ain't gotta. You ain't gotta. Go on 23andMe, nothing. Like your roots are right there. And as I've gotten older, most definitely, like I appreciated that. And it really just plays to everything that I've said too as well. Like watching, my grandfather, it's the Midwest. We all lived in the same house for a minute. And, watching my grandfather go out and work the way he did. And I remember you told me this too when I was younger. You said, man, I don't know if you even remember, but I
Mhm.
remember it was one time you said, man, if this was like 10, 20 years from now, grandpa would be a CEO
Yeah.
of a big company because, my grandfather, he was from Lagos, Nigeria. He was highly educated, had umpteen degrees.
Mhm.
But that he came to Kansas City at a time when racism was
Mhm.
really prevalent. Like you really was not getting, you were overqualified
He
if
was
you was
overqualified a
qualified.
lot. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So, but watching him same, like, grandpa would definitely, he would let he could definitely acknowledge obviously his lived experience of
Mhm.
racism. Like you got 2 master's degrees, a bachelor's degree, you picking fruit.
Mhm.
However, still within that, he was still able to, raise a family,
Mhm.
raise grandkids,
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
of nowhere, buy a house, pay off a
Yeah.
house, and, establish some type of foundation for the family, even with all the trials and tribulations. And people don't understand this too, like, even going back to just working in jobs. And this is also what, really drives me. And also being an entrepreneur, like my grandfather's fingers got cut off working a job,
Mhm.
and, that's a pain that I know up until the day he passed away, rest in peace. That was something that, you look down and you have this reminder every day of
Mhm.
like the sacrifices that you made. So, and then, how grandpa was,
Yeah.
like he was no
Yeah.
nonsense.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
he's an old Capricorn. Like
Yeah.
he was a no nonsense, like no excuses, like rain, sleet, snow, or hail. He was walking out that door and coming back. So, seeing that too growing up,
Yeah.
it definitely like it added to the grit.
Yeah, I think about grandpa often because it's funny because as I got older, I would tell your mom he became one of my favorite people.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's so funny because of course, naturally, early on, he ain't want no parts of me. You know what I
He's a
mean?
hoodlum.
I was a hoodlum. He wasn't fucking with me. But it's funny because he became my father figure.
Mhm,
That's crazy. So he was actually, I mean, no shade to my dad, to
mhm,
Courtney, but um grandpa was my father figure.
mhm,
That's crazy how those dynamics work. But but what I always appreciate, I remember one time when I was still in high school, he took me home, you know, because I used to come over and see you and your
Yeah.
mom when I was still in high school. I had no car, and he would take me home. And I remember him telling me, he said, you know, I want to apologize to you. You know, I didn't give you a chance to walk with you and get to know you, and you know that was his way. But it
Talk
was,
with you.
yeah, 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 yeah. It was a sweet gesture though, you know. But he always embraced me like a son, you know. So I
Mhm.
always felt like I made him proud, which was always, you know,
Yes.
fulfilling. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, you, my oldest daughter,
Mhm.
marriage. Are you ever getting married?
Dang, I wasn't ready
Are
for
you
that.
ever getting married, and are you having kids?
Wow.
Whoa.
I
God,
know, right? That's
podcast just got deep.
On the right. Are
I
you
was,
getting married? Are you having kids?
oh
Am I giving you
man.
away to
Oh my
some
God.
nigga?
That's hilarious. So it's funny. So that's, oh my God. That's a short answer and a long answer, but I will
You're
say
already
this.
15 years past him
I
having
know,
kids. You
right?
know what I
See,
mean?
I made it. Like,
Right.
you see what
You
I'm
did
saying?
make it.
I'm
You did.
super made
What
it.
I used to tell you, I used
I'm
to be
my own
like,
best example.
yup, I used to tell her, do not get pregnant. Do not
Yes.
have kids early. You your own best example.
Yes.
That's what I used
They
to
was
tell it.
on me. Okay, so kids, I don't know. I'm not 100% on kids. I know no parent wants to hear that. Sorry, mother, sorry, grandma, but I just, I mean, I'm the eldest. Like, I don't feel like it. I
she said,
don't.
I don't feel
I
like
don't
it.
feel like it. Like, and knowing I'm happy. Like, of course, when I was younger, I was like, man, this is too much. I don't like it. But same thing, man. You get older, and I'm like, nah, I got a solid point of reference. Like, when I
Mhm,
see kids, I don't just see the cute baby and, the
mhm,
Instagram pictures and the baby shower reveals. I'm like,
mhm,
that's work, that's body changes, that's your time,
mhm,
and like you would always give me the example too, like
mhm.
with Derek, Uncle
Yeah,
Derek, like
yeah,
he got his own time. He can move how he want to move.
yeah.
Auntie
Derek ain't got no
Melissa.
kids.
He on his way out here
No.
now. He'll be here at the podcast in probably an hour.
Derek do what he want to
What
do when he want to
up?
do it.
Yeah.
Motherfucking
That's
Derek.
ironic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I do. I kind of, as I've gotten older and I've settled more into, myself and, I've gotten
Mhm,
to learn myself over, time, relationships, all of that. I'm like, and what's funny too, even the guys I've dated, they would ask me, like, do you really want kids? So it's
mhm,
not like this is something that, just kind of popped about. It's like clearly there's been something where I was never 100% sure, but
mhm,
I'ma say no.
mhm.
I just don't feel like it. I like waking up, having my time. I do. I like
You want your time to be your own. You
my
want to do you.
own. I wanna
Yeah.
do me,
Yeah.
But as far as marriage, I'm open to it.
Hold on. Before we get to
Mhm.
marriage, I want to ask you. But what about the lineage?
Oh,
What about
you
carrying
got
on?
brother.
But brother ain't had no kids yet.
That's
We don't
okay.
know.
He
But
got
I'm just
time.
saying, what about carrying on our lineage, carrying on my bloodline, your bloodline, and our everything we work hard for? Who we gonna leave it to?
I know. So, well, here's the thing, and I have a solution for that.
Uh-huh.
So, okay, so you know how I don't, well, here,
Uh-huh.
I'll say this. So I have views on the world,
Uh-huh.
okay? And don't
We
get me
just
wrong.
hit 8 billion people. You see that this
I
week? That's
know.
topical. We're getting
That's a
topical.
lot.
Yeah.
We hit a landmark.
Yes.
8 billion humans live in this.
Wow.
That's too much.
Yeah.
So you don't want
It
to
actually is the
No.
point of you're getting to the point of no return. We are overpopulated.
Yes. No, I
Mhm.
agree with that.
And I'm adding to it.
Resources.
I'm throwing kids out there in the mix.
How many kids you got, kid?
Oh, just two. Just two.
Oh, okay.
They're as old now as you were when I met you.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
Uh-huh.
that.
So I had time to put on the Brother Lynch. You know what I mean?
We gonna have to see. Nah, I know, and I know it's sad when you think about it from a human perspective,
Mhm.
but and not to get all super philosophical, but I'd be philosophizing too.
Mhm.
But I just believe that wherever I'm going after this, like that's a whole journey within itself. Like this world it's all so temporary anyway. And here's the thing: like having kids doesn't always guarantee a lot for you either as well.
Mhm.
Like it's just from my perspective. Like you could have a kid, they don't like you, they go
Mhm.
off, they want to do something else.
Mhm.
They want to, they want to be somebody else,
Mhm.
something else. So that could go so many different ways.
That's
And
true. You can have a boy that wants to be a girl.
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And nothing's wrong with that.
Yeah.
I'm down for the them days, theirs, and all of them. But
Mhm.
it's just it could go so many different ways. And then
Mhm.
as a woman, like I have to take on that physicality. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like my body gotta change.
Mhm.
My, it's my baby.
Mhm.
Man go and do what he want to do, but it's my baby at the end of the day.
Not every
And
man. Some
not
stick
every
by.
man, but
Mhm.
I try to be a good one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
no,
got
you're
my
involved.
kids. No, I went through a divorce and everything else, and shout out to their mom. Yeah, she's a
Mhm.
good mom, but I got my kids. Like they
Mhm.
they with me. So
But I'm not gonna say that's a rarity.
you do
So
go through the change, though. Women have to
I was
deal
about to
with
say,
all
so
that.
is it the time change or is it the physical part that which one
It's
is
everything about it.
okay.
No, literally, it's the physicality. I don't wanna risk my life. I don't wanna tear. I don't wanna rip. I don't wanna stretch out.
They
I
got
don't wanna
stitches,
breastfeed. I don't, and listen, I
they
don't
got
care to
breast
do none
lift.
of that. And but see, I'm definitely afraid of surgery. And
Mhm.
I don't like hospitals. I'm holistic in the
Mhm.
mug. So
Mhm.
everything about the process just isn't really enticing to me at this. It's just not. And I feel like if you are going to take on that lifelong
Yeah.
responsibility of
Yeah.
being a parent, because it don't just stop when they're
That's
18 or
true.
25.
That's true.
I'm 30 clearly,
Yes.
so it's like I just don't know if I'm in the position, because I know where I'm
I
selfish.
got you.
You know what I
I
mean? And
got
I
you.
acknowledge that. And I feel like if you're gonna be a mother, especially in this world too,
Mhm.
like you need to be very passionate,
Mhm.
very militant, very 10 toes down. And I feel like I'm so passionate about what it is that I'm doing. And I
Right.
Yeah.
like being a maternal figure in other ways. Like I
But that's
wanna
good though, because the funny thing about it is I raised you like that. I put that in you because remember what did I would tell you? Kids are a luxury. I
Yes.
would always tell you,
Yes.
be selfish with yourself. Do
Yes.
what you want to do, and then once you get to where you want to go, then you could
Yes.
explore that. But we'll revisit this when you're 40 in 10 years, because you may feel different.
Well,
You
if
may
I
feel
hit
different.
35 and it ain't happening, it ain't happening.
Hey,
Like,
but didn't Halle Berry have a kid at like
but
48 or
she
some
wanted
shit?
kids
Yeah.
though.
It
But I'm
gets more
saying,
dangerous too, though,
but
as
your
you get older.
Yes.
desire, your affections may change. You never know, right? So okay, no grandkids for me. So
You
what
got
about
2 other kids.
what about
You do
marriage?
have 2 other
I ain't
kids.
even gonna. I ain't even Boots. I ain't even gonna throw you under
Boo's
the
waving
table.
off.
Boots like nigga. I'm not doing
Well,
none of
brother could
that.
have one for each of us.
My youngest daughter like nigga. I'm gonna have cats, nigga. I got cats. And brother, we just got to get him to talk to a girl.
That's it. He
But marriage. So what's your take on marriage and being a millennial?
Mhm.
I know this generation looks at marriage differently than
Yes,
than my generation and definitely previous
for sure.
baby boomers. So
Mhm.
what is your thought on that?
So, okay, I got 2 thoughts on that. So one, and it's really between my head and my heart. My heart is like I'm all for it. I do believe in marriage. I believe in partnership. I believe that 2 people, when they come together, they can accomplish great and wonderful things. They could take on the world and do whatever it is they want to do. However, in this day and age, in this culture, in this red pill content that's so just, I mean, it's permeating, especially throughout, the millennials. It's a gamble, it is, especially with what it is that I want to do, in the magnitude of which I'm trying to do business. Like it really has to math. It has to make sense. And the dude, he would just have to be something solid for me to
Mhm.
say, okay, I'm gonna take on your last name. I'm going to, kind of follow your lead, follow suit, which is fine. I have nothing wrong with that. Like in a relationship, yeah, you tell me what to do, I'm trying to chill. But,
Bullshit. Oh, excuse me. Oh,
wow.
what?
Wow. First of all, I will boss in my arenas that I'm strong in, because I believe in partnerships. In marriages, you should placate to each other's strengths and weaknesses. Now, where I'm strong, let me be strong. But over.
That sound like a lot of areas.
Right.
What?
I don't know that I've seen her follow. I don't know. I mean, she followed me initially, but other than that, I don't know her to
I
follow.
don't know. I mean,
I don't know her to follow.
Wow.
Niggas
That just-
beware.
I used to ask about you. I'm like, oh, how Rachel doing? You'd be like,
Man.
she. Hey.
Yeah, it's a struggle. No, I ain't listen, and it's no fault. Listen, because they gonna be watching. But it's no fault to the ones that have tried and failed. It's not all them. It ain't. No, it's not. It's not.
Low key shade. I know you niggas watching.
Yeah. I'm gonna put up a
You tried
list,
it,
lower
you
third names. Just put
It's only a
right.
few.
right.
It's only a few.
I put up lower
Yeah.
third.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Nah, it's no shade to them, because like I said, in every relationship, I acknowledge, where I done fell short too. Like I said, I was a junkyard dog. Like I'm no walk in the park. I never say that. Like I'm not the laid back, easy girl. Like, no, I got a plan. I got goals. Like even I had a dude tell me like, nah, I had a plan. And then you have a plan. So it's like, which plan we gonna do? So, but
Shit
I do.
ended up being your plan.
It ended up being my
Her
plan.
plan was like, you know what my plan is, nigga? I'm gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my plan.
Yeah.
My plan, I was planning on leaving.
Yes. Literally. But eventually, I mean, yeah, there's somewhere out there in the world, in the ethers, there's somebody for me that can roll with me. And I believe that.
I don't know if I believe in marriage anymore. Really?
Really?
Yeah. Not jaded. Not again. I'll big up my ex-wife. She a good mom.
Mm-hmm.
After it was all said and done, I was like, because I'm not that religious. I'm probably more agnostic. Sorry, Yomi. Sorry.
Same. It's okay.
I'm probably more agnostic.
Get me in trouble.
I'm not spiritual.
Uh-huh.
I just don't know if I believe what men have written about spirituality.
Ken, you gonna get me in trouble.
Troubles.
I was gonna be in trouble.
She
I
gives
got
you
to go
sleeps.
home.
But I look at it like I look at my own and I go like, yeah, we could have just told each other we was rocking with each other. Like this was a contract. And then this contract cost me a lot of money in this contract.
Oh,
it's a business relationship, right? And it
Yes.
costs her too. Like let's be fair to the women involved. Like
Mhm.
it's not like she got out scot-free. You know, she got to
Yes.
restart her life and
Yes.
like all of our shit was intertied and you got to break those ties. And it's like, let's say me and the next person, whoever, we want to rock with each other. Like what changes
Mhm.
me just looking at the person and be like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm down with you. Like, let's rock. Me and you. Let's walk these parallel paths
Yeah.
until we old and gray.
Yeah.
That contract just legally binds us together.
Right.
But it
right.
doesn't change like if I care for you or if I don't care for you. It's
Right. I
just-
think it depends on what you subscribe to. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I mean, of course, for the spiritual and the religious people, it means more than just the legal binding, But I always say that, just when you talk about a relationship and love, love is not always, you're not always going to see eye to eye. Love in a relationship is at least, as long as you're looking in the same direction.
Yeah.
So that's what really makes that thing work. I don't know, I mean, I've been married a long time, so for me it just is what it is.
Yeah,
31?
motherfucker, you
Yeah.
better say you bleeding.
Right, exactly. Like I'm for it.
I'll cut these
Y'all's
cameras.
trying
I'll
to
shut this whole shit down.
Hey, y'all's trying to trap me.
No,
You gotta look dead in the camera. Yomi, I believe in.
Nah, it's all of that. And no, I'm glad you brought that up, Ken, because that's also with millennials. So like I said, I'm both. Like I do, my heart believes in it. It's just my head knows that it's harder to find what it is that I'm looking for me and my needs and what it is that I'm doing. Because see, I believe in the contract version of it because I believe, okay, anything else I want to do, whether it's between me and my business partner, if I'm going into any venture, there's going to be a contract. You know what I mean? And then not only that, but hold on. Edit that. It's getting cold.
It's all
That was
good.
ready. I
This
know.
is podcast.
I
It's
know.
all good.
It's a little chilly in here, y'all. I'm West Coast saw 50 degrees got me shivering.
There.
But no, I believe in the contract version of it because I believe with marriage, especially, like you never know what'll happen. Like, you want to basically solidify the safety and the foundation for the people that you love. So, if I'm your girlfriend and let's say you in the hospital or something, and I'm your girlfriend, I might not be able to help you. You feel me? Now you got to call your mama, call somebody else next to kin because I don't have those legal rights. Now, I understand what people are saying about, well, we ain't got to get the government involved, but really, I mean, the government involved in everything.
Yeah.
But my remedy is, and I mean, obviously, you never know what'll happen is I'm trying to wait as long as possible, especially since I don't want children and really get to the level, that I want to get to. So that way somebody, exactly what you walking into. Like I got my business,
Right.
I'm set up. I don't want a house. I do want a condo, so I will make room,
Right.
for somebody.
Yeah, that's you right over there, player.
Yeah.
See how she
That's you, player.
And this is the same
No.
person who said, I'll follow.
Well, no,
Think about
no.
that. I got my own shit, nigga. Just make you a little, you good over. You see
Nah,
what
I
I'm
ain't
saying?
Yeah,
no,
that used to be my guest room, but I guess
Yeah, you could go ahead
No,
and squat
we
over
could buy
there.
a house together. Because if I already got a house and land and all this stuff, then the dude could come in and feel like, man, where do I fit in all
So
this?
let me ask you this. So as it pertains to marriage and relationships and finances, do you believe that married couples or I'm gonna say married couples, right? Should if you got married, would your money be separate and what's yours is yours, what's his is his, or would it be this is ours?
So Okay, so
Should have some boots.
I know that's a part A,
Ours.
part B question. So okay, let me say this: I do believe in prenups. I
Mhm.
believe in. I know most women don't. I do.
Mhm.
Simply because a prenup, even outside of finances, it lays a good groundwork for the relationship when you all are in love. So that way, regardless of what happens, let's just say if it all goes left, goes south,
Mhm.
you can revisit that and say, okay, based off of when we were in love, this is what we said. So it's a mix. I believe that what's ours, if we're together, we rocking, it's us. It's me and you against the world. However, just
I'm listening.
however,
You ain't
just
gonna follow.
based
Your money ain't gonna follow into someone else's checking account.
nah, I just that's hard. Would I have a joint checking account like that? Probably not.
Really?
Probably
Well,
not. We could have a joint savings and we could
mhm,
have joint ventures.
mhm,
But and no, here's the same thing too. Like, I don't need to see every transaction you got going on. You
mhm.
might want to give me something. I don't need to see that. I don't even want my mind. And I used to work in accounting. I don't need my mind to start trying to reconcile nothing.
Mhm.
Do what you do over there. We'll have a joint pot that we can do ventures, pay bills, all of
So
that.
you split bills. So you the split bill chick. You
No.
pay your half.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't believe in that. That's
Okay.
also partly why I'm single. I don't
Okay.
believe in splitting bills. No,
You believe in the nigga paying all the bills?
So
Yeah.
this is what I believe. I believe that as a man, because no, you trying to get me in trouble. You trying to have me trending. This is what I believe. I believe in the masculine and feminine polarity in heterosexual relationships. I do. Because each of them plays a very viable role. You can't have one without the other. We see this in nature. So as a man, y'all are literally built to go out and produce and
hunt.
do things. Yeah, and
Mhm,
hunt. Like
mhm.
y'all are. This is nature. As a woman, I'm here to cultivate whatever it is that you bring back. So if you provide me the space, and y'all can see, like like you say, I got pockets of intelligence. If you provide me the space, the foundation, the stability, then I can take whatever it is that you've established, and I can say, okay, you know what, boo, let's do this. You know what I mean? Like I read, I research, I do this, and so now I go and do a business, it's no longer about 50-50. We all just win it. You know what I mean? So I'm more so about teamwork than I am about, oh, well, I paid the rent, $1,000. I need your 500 because, well, what if I don't make as much as you? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, what if
Or your contribution is different.
my contribution is
A
different.
lot of women, once they have kids, which
Mhm.
you're not going to, but I do believe like a lot of women are at home not intentionally. And I'm not saying women should,
Mhm.
so don't to tag me.
Mhm.
But a lot of women are home contributing to the family while men are still
Yes.
working, and that is valuable contribution. Like you have to take that into
Hell yeah,
account.
for
Because at the end of
Yes.
the
It
day,
is.
even like when I was going through my thing, it was like, all right, cool. Like I did this, you did this.
Yeah.
And and we were a team on that. At least I felt that way.
Yeah.
Like
Thank you, Ken.
we were a team on that.
Mhm.
So we try to, and her and I still to this day try to be fair with one another.
Yes.
That's my bro, and we talk about it all the time. He said, not that anything was ever happen with me and my old lady, but if it did, I got her for life just because it is what it is at this point.
Yeah.
And I kind of rock like that too. It's like, look, we
Mhm.
were a team, so I'm not gonna let you fail. Like
Mhm.
because I got again, it's not back to the systemic racism problem,
Mhm.
but it is a head
Y-
start in the race.
Yes.
Like you stayed home and did this while I went off and worked.
Mhm.
Thank you.
And so now you might need help because I'm further in that race. So
Exactly.
we don't always get along. Let me
Right,
not.
right,
Yeah,
right.
no, but
I
the
think
I
mindset.
love you,
it-
Jess. I
I
love
think
you,
it-
but we don't always get along. But I
think
do
it
try to help.
depends. I think it depends on when you start and how you start. How you start is how you finish usually.
Mhm.
So, like for me, my situation is like you said, an anomaly. It's very different because
Mhm.
with your mom, she been with me since I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I didn't
She used
have
to hook
shit.
you up.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
didn't have shit. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I can remember when your mother. You probably don't remember this. She was too young. Because your mother was in college and she had a job and I was in high school. That's a
Yeah.
whole nother story.
He lied to her though about his age.
Oh
Mm.
God. You throw me out there like that.
I got you, mama. It's okay.
But I can remember when we had you and I was still in high school. I didn't have no money and your mother bought all of us Jordans. You had
You all
Oh,
went
is
school
that the
clothes
picture
shopping?
with the vest?
Y'all went school clothes
Real
shopping?
shit. Real shit. It was a time where your mother brought me school clothes and brought all of us Jordans. We all
Yes.
had matching Jordans. You
Yes,
know what I'm saying?
we got the
So,
pictures.
now mind you, I'm 16, 17 years
Y'all
old.
be like, pick the pants out and let's go already.
Yeah.
No, real
Yeah.
shit. Real shit.
I want the Dickies with the.
that's what I had.
Yeah, I'm
That's
sure
what
you
I had. The
did.
Dickies.
Literally.
Yeah. And so, so for that situation this is someone who I built with from nothing. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? So that's why I say, God forbid, if something were ever to happen, she would be straight for life. Whatever
Yeah.
I have is hers. It has to be like that.
But like you said, and I gotta and no, and I've
Mhm.
said this, and I've even referenced this in my personal
Mhm.
relationships. But here's the thing, though, on the flip side, like you said, you were a kid, and
Yeah.
then when you got able and
Yeah.
when you were of age, you
Yep.
wasn't I never remember y'all having 50-50 conversations in y'all
No.
late 20s, and
Mm-mm.
I was aware
Never.
at this
Yeah.
point. I remember
Never.
I remember
Yeah.
when my mom turned 25, y'all. So listen, I was there. So y'all never had, and you
That's
never
so funny because I remember that shit too. I remember
right?
being a full grown ass kid and being like, man, I'm on 30 today. Fools are like, you're out of high school.
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Same. People
Yeah.
look at you crazy. Then you gotta
Yeah.
explain. It's
Yeah.
funny,
Yeah.
You
but
still have to explain,
I
but go
know,
ahead.
right? But yeah, you never minimized her role as far as the
Yeah.
domestic, and that's my
Right.
problem too. Which also too, I won't lie here. It does kind of also play a role as to why I don't want to have children because there's not enough reverence for domestic labor. Like for real, like these
Man,
mothers.
Yeah.
that shit hard. Listen, because my taste of it was with your brother. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? So I'm at home and this boy, he
Ugh,
used to nurse. And when he couldn't get that titty, oh my God, he
he
cried.
was
Oh,
inconsolable.
yeah, he was
Yeah.
inconsolable. And just that whole grind of being in, even when we lived in Encino, you got to think, since we've been in LA,
Yeah.
I was kind of the stay-at-home dad,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So just because I know what y'all do in the comments, I had businesses, not
Yeah.
because I wasn't working or unemployed, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Entrepreneur.
Yeah, and my old lady's a professional woman, so she still has her own aspirations and things she wants to do. But
Mm-hmm.
in saying that, yeah, that shit, yeah, women, they hats off,
Yeah, no,
because
for
that shit
real.
is that
No, you have
yeah,
to you have
that
to you
shit
have to
is
give them
work.
you have to give it the
That shit is
respect.
work.
Yeah, you have to give it the respect it deserves.
Hell
And
yeah, you
and
you
no,
cleaning the house, you taking care of the
Cooking,
kids, you
yeah.
grocery
cooking,
store
grocery
shopping.
store, just keeping the household together. That is a
And
job.
and to be fair, I think that whole behind every strong man is a strong woman.
Absolutely.
It's especially true if you
Hmm.
choose to have children because
Yes.
now you are in a partnership where it's like,
Yes.
Hmm.
all right, so we got to win. And right
Yep.
now the play is, at least is how I always
Mhm.
viewed it.
Yeah.
But like the play is like, I can make a lot of money, so I'm gonna go
Mhm.
do that, and you're gonna take care of these kids, and
Right.
then I'm gonna come back at night, and we're gonna, we're just every day. It's
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
you're grinding with your partner,
Yes.
Hmm.
and that's what it is. So I don't think enough people now. If you're single and but then it is what it is,
I
because you can do
mean,
whatever you want
because
in
you have to
life.
pose this question, right? Even at your age and at your stage, right? If
Mhm.
you meet someone and you're established, they're established, but think about it when you come to this separating it, because like
Mhm.
say for instance, if okay, you like, well, I got my shit, you got your shit, but it's still kind of prenup and all that. But what if he takes on that same attitude? What if he wins the lottery and then
Mhm.
he says, "Oh yeah, well it's separate. I
Mhm.
got $700 million.
Mhm.
You got what you had." You know
Yeah.
Mhm.
what I'm saying?
Well,
So
no, and that's a good question. No, you said this to me,
yeah,
even my
yeah, yeah.
previous relationship
Uh-huh.
about the whole 50-50 thing.
Uh-huh.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't believe in 50-50. I
Mhm.
believe in men. And going back to what Ken said, like how you, and this ties in, I'm gonna loop it back into
Mhm.
what you just said, like how you just said, okay, you could stay at home. Men don't want that no more. They want you to work, come home, cook, clean, have sex, you feel me, start a business, do whatever it is that they want you to do, and then go back and do it again. That's out of my league. That's too much. You feel me?
Mhm.
I can't do all that. Not to that. I'm not operating at that level. And if we keeping it real, no woman really wants to, because at
Yeah.
this point, and we know this too, like, well, at least as a woman, from a woman's perspective, like especially when it comes to the domestic, a lot more of that tends to fall back on the woman. So it's never really 50-50. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So going back to what you said, I do believe in partnership, but my prenup would really just to protect my business
Mhm.
and my ventures. You know what I mean? Because remember, I still have partners. I may, have
Mhm.
investors.
Mhm.
So I can't afford for, let's say, if we do fall off, we do break up. Now, everybody that I've built this over here with too, now they're susceptible to my personal,
Yeah. Yep.
situations going on. So in
Mhm.
that regard, yes, but no, I'm not a stingy person.
Mhm.
Like if I got a penny, I'll split it with you if that's what we got to do.
Mhm.
But that's why I prefer a man that has a protector and a provider mentality,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
he's not looking at it like, oh, you and me over there. Now he could still come with a
Mhm.
prenup, protect your assets. I'm all
Mhm.
for that. If you came to the table with hella
Mhm.
properties and businesses and ventures, and you have to protect that from a business perspective. I
Mhm.
understand.
Mhm.
Same thing. You got partners, you got,
Yeah.
all these different investors, like, but whatever it is that we do together, yeah, that's ours. And then I don't need us to be nickeling and diming each
Right.
other in
Yeah.
the relationship.
Right.
And I don't want to be with a man that's making me feel like I gotta pay for myself to be in a
Yeah.
relationship. It's too many
Yeah.
men in the world.
Yeah, you're gonna get some text messages and some DMs. Yeah. The
Nah,
niggas gonna be, yeah.
it's
You gonna
good
get some
though. It's
text messages and
refreshing. It's
DMs.
refreshing, and I look forward to having her on future podcasts because it's a different perspective.
Exactly.
It's a new. It's
Exactly.
because we just two guys, so we just talk guy shit.
Exactly.
Oh.
But I do empathize with what you're saying, and I even think of where I fucked up in my own relationship,
Mhm.
right? Because
Mhm.
like shit happens. It does.
Yeah.
It's not 50-50, and people do. You were talking about the burnout of like, oh, I gotta fuck this dude, and I gotta do this, and I gotta do
Seriously.
this, and I gotta do this. Like, there's a burnout, and I think that burnout happens on both sides.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
probably more heavy. I don't know the woman's side of it, but it's
Well,
heavy, and you're providing some context to it.
yes.
And even my ex, she provided context to it. Guys burn out too, where it's like, well,
Mhm.
fuck, I'm trying to be a protector and a provider and a this
Mhm.
and a that, and I come home with the bag, and I don't ask you for
Mhm.
fucking much,
Yeah.
and I do, and at some
And I
point,
understand that.
people just start to burn out and be
But
like,
you know
man,
what it is? I'm gonna tell you, as someone who's done it for a long time, and not flawlessly, but nothing is.
no,
I think when you leading with grace and mercy, when
Mhm.
I always say if you start from the foundation of understanding that nobody is going to get 100% of what they need, right?
Yes, I
You're
agree.
doing good if you get 60, 70%, right?
Mhm.
If
nope,
you're getting 60 or 70% of what you need from that person, you're winning, right?
Mhm.
If you're getting 100%, something is wrong because somebody
Yes.
has lost their identity and become who you want them to be.
Yes.
And it's only going to last so long because they're going
yep,
to build up resentment.
Yes.
But one thing I learned is communication, and when I say grace and mercy, when both people are saying, no, 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 I know how I feel, but no, how do you feel? What's going on
Mhm.
with you? And that person is saying, no, 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 no. I know how I feel. No, what's going on with you? How do you
Mhm.
feel? And they both want to serve each other's needs,
Mhm.
and they kind of put themselves to the side a little bit. When it's reciprocated, that's when you can kind of work through bullshit.
But
You
that
know,
takes
it
maturity,
does
and it
take
also
maturity,
takes
humility as well.
humility, maturity, and also, once again, it goes back to the 50-50 thing. And I know I keep going back to that, but
Mhm.
y'all don't understand. Like, I'm not gonna get into depth, but that just ruined my last
Yeah,
relationship. You know what I mean? Like,
but
just
but let me say this though. I'll be honest with you. It's not always going to be 50-50.
that's what I'm
Sometime,
saying. I
sometime you got
agree.
to take shit on the chin. That's part of a
Yes.
relationship. That's
Yes.
even a business relationship. Sometime you
mm-hmm,
just not going to get all you want to get. You got to know when to
Mhm.
to give those concessions. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So that's it.
and then you got to
Sometimes you
look
just
at the
take them hits.
you got to look at the relationship and be like, oh man, I feel like I got fucked like this year. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't get my 50-50,
Yeah.
but it's still worth being in the relationship.
Yeah,
It's
you
still
can't
worth being
you
in the
can't look
partnership.
at it. I mean, people are different. Like, see, for me, I never looked at, I guess, to my point, what I just said. For me, it was always, what can I offer?
Mhm.
How can I make you better? You see
Mhm.
what I'm saying? It wasn't what I'm getting. I'm putting myself second. But then your mom, it was the same thing.
Mhm.
No,
For
what can
sure.
I offer you?
Mhm.
I put my soul. You see, I think when that's
But
reciprocated,
it's also a different time. Y'all didn't have social media back in the days, and that plays
yeah,
a role in it because you gotta figure,
Absolutely.
like, most
yeah,
people, they feel like, "Oh, I can get another you."
yeah, yeah,
I see
yeah,
millions of
yeah,
females,
yeah,
I see millions of dudes
yeah.
online, I can
I
get
feel
another
like
you.
people are so
You
much
who
more
said that?
disposable now.
You know
Like,
what?
Yeah.
Boosie said that. He said that on Drink Champs. He said that. He said social media fucked up relationships
Yes.
because you got every nigga looking at a
I
bra
could
like,
fucking just swipe you away. You
yeah,
know what
Yeah,
I mean?
but
literally.
Like,
like, but see, but
Right,
there's a
left.
million of like, fuck
but
this
Yeah.
this is the
bitch.
thing
Like,
though,
you
man.
know what I
Like,
mean? Like,
comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes.
And you have to be content where you are. Social media is not a real world. You know what I'm
no,
Thank
saying?
it's
It's
a
you.
highlight. It's a
everybody's
highlight.
highlight reel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
Yeah.
mine.
Look at my
goddamn it.
look at
I
my
was
look
gonna
at this
say mine
demo.
too.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go to my shit. My shit is exciting. You
Yes.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I
Y'all don't
think
see him walking around arguing, mad about people. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Y'all don't see Ken keeping me off niggas' asses
Yeah.
all, you know what I
Hey,
mean?
all right, hold
Pause.
on, chill. Like, fucking, all right, let's
All
just
day.
fucking do this thing.
I tell Ken, man, fuck this man. We should rob him. We should rob him when he get here. So
Hold on, let's cut that part
Can't be
out.
having, I know, right? Can't be having to
I know,
regulate
right?
on and off
Motherfuckers
camera.
gonna be like, oh, that's
Y'all
what
were
they
here
on?
for the. Y'all were here for what?
Right?
Y'all were here for what?
I'm so used to it at this point. I'm just like,
That shit, me too. It's 20 years.
right?
I know what it is.
But you know, the relationship, I think, yeah, when you want it to work, like I say, love is not always seeing eye to eye, but at least looking in the same direction. You know,
Yes.
that'd be my advice to people. People ask me all the time, like, man, how would you, how, and this is another thing too. Communication, especially with long term, you know, your affections change. You have to figure. I've been with your mom since I was 15, right? So I'm not the same person I was at 21, at 31, maybe even 41, right? So my needs change as hers. So you have to communicate and be able to pivot and do your best. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it takes effort. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to want to do it, but you got to take a shit on the chin.
Yeah.
You got to fucking goddamn
But
take
see,
shit
I'm
on
all
the chin.
about that. But that's what I'm saying too. Even as a woman, like I don't want to feel like I'm harder in life than my dude. You know what I mean? I don't want to feel like no, seriously. And this ain't just the ones I've been
Yeah,
with, but just
yeah.
even moving forward.
I'll put the names up.
Yeah. No.
And some of that is probably my fault because
on.
I, not to take credit, but I'm just saying,
Take credit.
no, but I'm saying,
Some of that's probably my fault,
Yeah.
and also
but no,
me blessing you.
that's true. That's true. But like even with your mom, having that strong male figure in grandpa, you know what I'm saying? So you got to think I gave you a reference of a nigga that gonna get out here and get it. You know what
No
I'm saying?
excuses.
I'm gonna get out here and
Yes.
do,
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I'm
I was
saying?
there.
So exactly. So it was no you and then I'm a protector. It's always how we get down. What I used to tell you, we ain't victims.
Yes.
I taught her. I said,
I ain't raising
"Listen,
no victims.
we
You
ain't
better come
We
home.
ain't victims. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I used to tell my daughter, if anybody try to snatch you, anybody try to make you get in the car, make them kill you right there.
Right there.
Save me and your mama the whole thing. Save yourself because they gonna do what they gonna do anyway. So make them kill you if they really about that. You know what I'm saying? Don't get in nobody's car. And
sure.
even with the family, think about it. We had an understanding that if for whatever reason somebody gets in this house, we are going to die together. You know what I'm saying? We ain't giving up nothing.
These are real conversations.
These are real
y'all, for real.
conversations.
Yeah.
You not tying me up, making me watch you violate my family or none of that shit. We not doing none of that. You came in the wrong house.
Yeah.
Because we all ready to go. We can't wait to go. And that's true.
Yes.
No, these are truth. That ain't the
And they-
high
and
rate.
they played out.
I know stories that I won't put on.
Yeah,
podcast,
I'm not
but-
even. I'm just sitting here like
Hey.
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, that's real though.
Yeah, straight up. Like,
it's real shit.
so now
It's a cold world.
so
out
when
there,
you hear that, you hear the strength in her and her perspective, So it's hard. It will, and I always knew that. It would be hard for her to, get that what she was taught
Yeah.
and modeled. You know what I'm
And
saying?
let me be clear, like I'm not looking, I don't, because I think people, especially when we talk in terms of
I
masculinity.
just imagine her with the next boyfriend, like, if someone come in this motherfucking house,
Hey,
he a
hey.
square ass motherfucker who like, hold on, I'm dying too.
But you know what's funny?
I went to Waldorf school.
I'm
And
too
I,
three.
Right.
I'm 2 for 3. I done had 2 out of 3 square. I don't mind a square. Look, I took my last dude to the shooting range, and guess what? Found out his gun didn't even shoot. Thank God. And I said,
damn.
see, this no for real. I took him to the shooting range for his birthday. I said, man,
Uh-huh.
you got this. This your first gun. I said, you got it. You got blessed. You got to shoot us. So let's go see how it barked. And yeah, got there. They didn't even work. I said, see, now we would have been jacked up in Kansas City
Yeah.
if somebody would have came
Yeah.
in on one. And we out here
Yeah,
bad.
speaking of guns, do you remember your first time shooting a gun?
I sure do.
Alright.
It was, oh
Man,
man, can I
hold
tell the
on,
story?
edit,
Can
edit. I don't know.
This ain't
It's
no edit.
Yeah.
It's just combo.
Can I tell the story? So
I
it was
don't know,
fun
statute of
times.
limitations is up. You got-
Oh yeah. I consent. I authorize. Yeah, I was I was either 8 or 9 because this was at Grandma Renee's house. This is on Chestnut. And it was New Year's Eve,
Yeah.
and I was upstairs and I heard him. It's Kansas City, y'all. So please understand, guns are illegal. It's okay. And they got. I mean, the whole city going up. So he comes up into the room. I'm laying with my mom, and she's watching Real Sex on HBO, Sex in the City. You know
Oh,
what I mean? Yeah, like
So
we
think
just-
about that, right?
Oh,
She's
man.
in the bed with her mother watching Real Sex, and her dad comes say, "Hey, come on out here with these choppers."
And so, and then Grandma Renee, she came out because she was a night out too.
Uh-huh.
She be up. you gonna go out there? And I was like, yeah. She came to the door. So I got on my coat, my pajamas, throw on my little boots. And so I forgot Ahmad was there, Tyrone,
Yeah.
Smitty,
Yeah.
and
Smitty.
I know
Too sick.
Smitty,
I
too
know.
sick.
I know.
I don't know if Derek was there, but you was like, nah, shoot it. And they was all looking, because I'm little, like the
Yeah.
gun
She
bigger
had
than
on a
my
gown.
hand.
Yeah.
And you was like, nah, just raise it in the air, shoot it. And so I raised in the air. I was like, God, 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 God. And I was looking. He was like, no, look up. I was like, God, 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 God.
This is what happened when babies have babies.
Right.
Yeah.
I know I got
Let's
older.
not glorify this. ladies
Yeah,
and
we're not
gentlemen.
glorifying it,
Not
but
gl-
we like to highlight the journey. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because see, my sister now, I don't even think my siblings can load clips.
No.
Yeah,
no.
nah.
I
tried
love
to
how
teach 'em.
easy she just said.
Yeah, I tried to teach
I
you.
don't think they can even load AR clips.
Yeah. So think about it. When you moved out when you was what, 19, 20?
When I moved out of the house,
Yeah.
I was
No.
I was like 20.
20. What did I give you when you left?
357 Magnum with the gold hammer with the speed loaders.
Ooh.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Revolver? Like don't
Yeah.
jam?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
yeah.
Wild Wild
Cowboy.
West.
Stainless.
Yeah.
What's your favorite gun? I know, but you can tell them.
Yeah,
people.
no, I like my assault rifles. I like my AR-15 because I'm very surgical with it. It's very accurate. It's a
Damn,
smooth
she
shot.
is you.
I raised her like my oldest son.
Hey,
Yeah,
she is a
I love it.
15-year younger version of you.
It's a fun time. Listen, what is it? The Second Amendment. And here's the thing, and I will say this because I do want to be fair. We do live in a time of mass shootings and a lot of gun violence.
we
Here's
do.
the thing. I'm definitely not for gun violence against people. I'm for guns for protection, because here's the thing, the government has and will continue to produce guns. You know what I mean? That's just the fact of the matter. So I don't
It's
believe
never gonna stop in this country.
Thank you. It's never
No.
gonna stop. So as a person, and definitely as a woman, I'm not trying to go toe to toe with no man. If a man break in my house, I need to just handle my
sure.
business, you know. So, but as far as when it comes to, like recreational use, shooting range and things like that, I do enjoy my artillery. So yeah, I like my AR-15s. I like my Desert Eagles now that I can cock it, because I couldn't cock it when I was little, but I'm grown now, so I
You
can.
think you can cock it now?
Yeah, I can cock it now.
How you know? When you done it? I don't think you had.
I done been to some raging since,
Oh,
I
okay.
got, yeah.
You know, I got one. I'm gonna see when we get.
I can cock
when we
it.
get to the crib.
Yeah. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, no, I like the AR-15. It's smooth.
So
And then
what-
for a handgun, I mean, a 4.5 is cool. If the barrel, I mean, it go back, but I'm accurate.
She said a 4.5. The faux nickel.
Oh
That's
my
all-
God.
yeah. So
She didn't pick any small caliber at all.
nah, she wasn't raised on small calibers.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I don't even know them. Mm-mm. I don't. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna get 5 parent of the year.
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah. No.
Oh my
No,
God.
you're not.
Say no. Say no.
Kid's like,
that's
actually,
out.
no.
That's out.
Actually, they're gonna make sure that all of your children are
Right.
of age.
I know, right? They gonna
Child
fuck her-
Protective
Right,
Services gonna be at the
knock
door.
on the door like, "Hey, we seen your grown child. Do you have any underage children? The fuck
Yeah.
going on
We're
here?"
gonna have to
my God.
release this when everyone's over 20.
I know, right?
Yeah, but so now,
For the
Going-
record, my
going-
kids aren't cocking guns, so don't come to my house.
so going past the gun rights and different things like that, the
Mhm.
laws. Are you? I never asked you this. Are you a Democrat, Republican, or
Oh,
independent?
damn, this
I
podcast
know,
all
man.
over
What
the
is
place.
You asking good questions.
Children,
boy.
What are
religion,
you?
politics.
I know.
I'm getting to know my oldest daughter.
and-
I'm,
No, that's true,
some
'cause
things-
I'm-
some
yeah.
Well,
things
along
I
with the
don't
rest
know.
of the world. So
Yeah,
here
some
we
things
go.
I don't know.
So okay, so I'm for what makes sense.
Bingo.
Yeah, I'm just for what makes sense. Because here's my take on it. When it comes to politics, they're all on the same side. It's just like, and I didn't get to touch on this. So I wanted to say this in the Melly Mel interview too. But when we talk about criminals, like in my opinion, like the politicians, they ain't nothing but criminals on the other side of the law.
Mhm.
So, and they have the resources, the generational wealth, and access to be able to do what it is that they do. So they're all friends. They all know each other. They're gonna make laws that benefit them. So my thing is that I just need to be, just stay abreast of what's happening and pivot when I need to. So first and foremost, that's why I got a business. The laws love business owners,
Mhm.
so I'm just for what makes sense. I think it's harder to go against the grain in some ways. I mean, of course, like, yeah, for human rights, civil rights, like stand up. But you kind of got to understand they're going to do what they going to do. Like this is just a part of the system. This is how the world goes. So I'm just for what makes sense. I guess you can call me a liberal.
Okay. Well,
Is
I guess
that-
they're independent.
Independent, yeah, independent thinker.
You can't really be in this country independent though. Like,
that is true.
Right.
it is a 2-party system, so
Yes.
no other party's gonna matter. That's what I hate, because I actually hear everything you're saying, and I
Yeah.
feel like I fall in line with that.
Mhm.
Because your dad and I talk all the time, where it's like I feel very liberal on all these things, but
Yeah.
I'm a gun owner and a small business owner, and I
Right.
like my money, so don't tax me on it.
Right.
Right.
So, which is very conservative. It's a conservative outlook,
Mm-hmm.
but you just have to fall in line with one of the 2 parties if you.
I would
you're-
say
if
my
you're gonna-
lifestyle is Republican, maybe.
Exactly. That's what I was about to
Yeah.
say. I think, my lifestyle, I live Republican, I vote Democrat, but I think independent. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But
Yes.
I'm not allowed to be a Republican. You know what I'm saying? I got to go home.
Yeah, we
I'm not
gotta go
allowed to be
home.
a
And nor,
Republican,
hey,
but-
look, in the climate right now, nor should you be. I'm sorry, fuck it. All my Republican friends would
Yeah.
be mad at me because there was a day and age where Republicans made sense,
Yes.
and it wasn't so extreme. I feel
Yes.
like we're living in a world of extremes now, and tied into some of
Right.
those extremes. Not everyone. Let me not get on my Kanye and put everyone in the same
Mhm.
Right.
bubble, but like I think that there's a lot of extremes. Not everybody, but
Yeah.
in general, like look at Trump, and I'm sorry, I'll call that one out.
Mhm.
Please.
That's an extreme,
Mhm.
and he's the head of that party, and the option was you vote for him,
Yeah.
Mhm.
the guy who would be like, look at my African American over here, and you'd be like, what the fuck? Who even talks like
Right.
that? Like,
Yes.
Right.
who says some
Right.
shit like that?
Right.
And a guy who fucking hateful groups are endorsing him, and he's not
Yeah.
saying shit to denounce it.
For
It's like-
sure. For sure.
and I don't even know if that man. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know if he just leaned into the propaganda because he's a con man, or because you know what I mean. Like
it's
to
hard
not
to
denounce
say,
it.
bro. It's hard to say because I think that I don't know.
But again,
bro.
2 parties. You vote for that.
No,
or
I
you-
agree with you.
Or
I
you
get
go
what you
fuck it.
mean.
It's Hillary.
It's
I'll
hard. It's
vote for
hard to
Hillary.
say,
I
bro,
get what you-
because I mean,
Who's
you
also
got to
a
think with
piece of
Trump.
shit.
Yeah, with Trump, he was, he didn't want to, turn away his base. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For him to stay to do whatever his agenda was.
Yeah.
I don't. It's hard to say, really. But I say Trump was the most entertaining,
For sure.
politician. He kept it live.
Yeah.
But Sleepy Joe is so
Sleepy
boring.
Joe Biden.
Sleepy Joe is so senile and feeble-minded.
Yeah.
Bless his heart. But are you voting for Trump in this new year?
So listen, man,
election?
you trying to get me in trouble too.
No, you can't get in trouble.
I know. I'm talking
Yeah.
about my mama.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I ain't talking about
That's
the
a
world.
no. I'm gonna
talking
say
about
mine
my
right
mama.
now. I'm gonna say mine right now is a no.
Yeah.
But
That's
y'all,
true.
you
I told
Yeah.
you I'm not allowed to be a Republican.
Right.
So-
I mean, I'm gonna say
shout out Yomi.
I know. Shout out my mom because she be on it. Right now I'm gonna say no, but this is what I will say about Trump. And I know whatever drag me, hashtag me, have me trending, whatever. I'll be on the shade room, I'll comment. But one thing, and I lived in Vegas too. So remember, I kind of got a little bit of backseat on Trump a little
Mhm.
bit just because so many people, they work for the Trump Towers, like,
Mhm.
and I got to talk to a lot of workers. So listen, we know he's racist, we know he's this, but this is what I did like about Trump. You knew exactly who you was getting.
Right.
He didn't thank the folk, you know what I mean? And he's a businessman. The United States of America Corporation, because that's what it is. It's a corporation, is a business. And he ran it like a business. And in business, you got to be shrewd. You got to be direct. You got to, make those hard decisions. And my thing is knowing how politics is really set up with the president and Congress. Like, there's so much back end and so much that people don't see. You know what I mean? So to
Mhm.
just put it all on Trump, just to put it all on one person, I don't necessarily think it's fair. Did
Nah.
he spew hate? Yeah. Did he?
It's a puppet master.
Exactly.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he's a figurehead.
Yeah, you know what I
yeah.
mean? So, but he was who he was. And, at least I don't have to guess because, like I tell people all the time, like, listen, I'm a Black woman, you know what I mean? And I've lived in a lot of white spaces. I've worked in a lot of white spaces. Like, I'd rather somebody just be outwardly who they are to me than me try to have to guess
Right.
and, like, have to,
For sure.
continue to be like,
Yeah,
oh, wait,
sure.
you said this and you sound like an ally, but now you kind of did this and I'm confused.
Hey, look, and I'll make all the Democrats mad. It's fine. I'll do it right now. Like, that's true because people, I feel like that party tries to buddy up and ally. Like, yeah, we're for
Yes.
we're for this and that, but they also are responsible for like privatizing prisons and
You know what I
shit. You know what I mean? So there's
mean?
like a lot of shit.
Come through, Ken.
There's
Talk
a lot
about
of
it, Ken.
there's a lot of shit that got pushed through during like the Clinton administration that
Mhm.
is
For sure.
not helpful for Black
For sure.
America.
Yes.
So Yeah, I see what you're saying. I still say I'm a no Trump because I
But
just
Trump
think
did do some shit for prison reform, though.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
He
yeah,
did a lot for
he
prison
let a lot of
reform.
motherfuckers out
He
too.
did.
Yeah.
He
He
did.
let a
I
lot
got
of
a couple
motherfuckers
homeboys that's out.
And
because
gas
of him.
wasn't $7 a gallon either. I'm just
Motherfucking
saying.
That's true.
motherfucking hair.
That's true. And I think with Trump in business too, because like you said, we're all small business owners. The money was flowing as well. I will say that. The loans were everybody was getting loans.
Yeah.
And he brought back the no doc loans, which was
Yes.
really nice. You know what I mean?
And no, it is important because and that's the reason.
That's just scandalous. All right.
Now, go
Here's the
ahead,
thing,
Ken.
because he's a businessman. Everybody wants to say, but he's a crooked businessman.
But
Those are some of the best.
crooked.
Those are some of the best.
But business is
people.
crooked. So like I
Those are
look
some
at
of the
him
best
as like
business
a
people.
con artist with a bunch of failed businesses.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, don't run America like that. Because
Right.
if it's like his meat company or his fake ass colleges, like we gonna
Fake
get
ass colleges.
like we just gonna get our shit ran into the dirt. And
And
then
think about it. If you think about when he did the debate with Hillary, and I mean, like you said, he tells motherfuckers who he is. She said
Yeah,
he's
he
a
crooked.
crook.
Yeah.
He doesn't pay his taxes. You know what
Yeah.
this nigga said? Because I'm smart.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm smart.
Yeah.
So that's why he said that he knew that the system is rigged. He said
Mhm.
because he uses it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
He
uses
playing
it
the game
he
too.
uses it to his advantage. The only look, I'll be very honest, that mentality
Mhm.
is appealing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the racism part
Yes,
attached
for
to it,
sure,
Exactly.
for sure.
which immediately for me, going back to our earlier conversation,
Mhm.
where I feel like I gotta,
Yeah.
I have to speak for my own fucking delegation. I got for the white delegation. Remember the Chappelle, the white
Yeah.
delegation.
White delegation.
For the white delegation, I go like, "Fuck, bro, you could do all of this other shit, and that's cool, but relax on the fucking
Mhm.
racist shit."
But
like just
refresh
chill.
my memory though, because and pardon my ignorance,
Mhm.
I don't remember him actually saying anything racist.
Oh, bro, I can pull up the
Did he?
clips.
Did he?
So
Or was it
many.
overt? Because I thought what it was.
He was calling it the third world countries, shithole countries, and this is like Haiti.
Okay,
fucking,
so I remember that, right?
Yeah.
But this is a inarticulate person. This is
Mhm.
he's
Yeah.
not the most articulate, and
Mhm.
so
he
and
also
he's-
called people across the border some bad hombres.
He
but
did.
he's
That's
jacked
so
up.
no listen. So listen.
He called
and
them all rapists
so-
and murderers, like
so
Latinos.
listen,
We're talking my
so-
Latino brothers and sisters.
And
But
I ain't
listen,
for that because they
but
build
is
economies.
is this ignorance or is it racism? And I'll tell you why. Let me tell you why.
Is there a difference?
No.
Is there a difference?
There is a difference. There is a difference. I'll tell you why, right?
It's a fine line.
And I'm not defending him. I'm not absolving him of
Mhm.
anything. But for instance, I didn't know that saying mulatto was offensive. I didn't know. I was talking to a friend of mine who is
I didn't know
biracial.
until right now.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm
But,
saying?
But people do
that's
be
not,
mulatto.
But that's
No,
not.
listen to what
But
I'm
that's
saying.
you're talking about the use of a word when he was just like, these illegals come in and are rapists
Right,
and murderers.
right.
He's more on the Kanye where it's like, I just put everybody in that group.
Right.
This could be like
And
a
so-
lady coming over with her kids. He's like,
no,
rapists
I
and murderers.
understand
I
that.
get
So
you.
he's generalizing, but is that
Yes.
ignorance or is that racism?
So if I walk in here today
see
and be
what I'm
like, I
saying?
don't just fuck with black people because usually they be scandalous.
Yeah.
Well, if that's my ignorance, it's also kind of
but
leaning into
no,
some
but
racism.
I
I think I get what you're trying to say. Because
Yeah.
here's what it is. And I'll just say it. Oh, they gonna drag me. This better not be bad for business. But I'm gonna just say it because I'm all about it. I'm a rebel with a cause. But even with black people, some people don't want to admit that sometimes even the racism is rooted in some type of truth. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying this against the Latinos. I big up Latinos all the time. I live in LA. These people build an economy. You know what I
Right.
mean? You
My
got them.
sure.
My family's Latino.
Yeah, for
No,
sure.
I respect it. Even the other day, like they was working on the house and it started raining in
Yeah.
Southern California. And I said, man, they got to go home. I know that sucks. They kept working. I
No.
said,
Man,
dang.
California
okay.
will crash without.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Have you ever
established.
seen? I think there was a documentary. It was like a day without a Mexican.
Man, please, this place a crash.
I don't even
bro.
want it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
place a
nah.
crash.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Big
Mm-mm.
them people up. And
Mm.
if you live in LA, I hate getting off the off ramp and seeing white, black, or any other nationality person of my own age
Right.
that's asking for money.
Right.
When I was like, you got a whole class of people that go out and get it every
Real
day.
shit.
No excuses.
Like,
Real shit.
no excuses.
No
You
green
have to-
card,
and-
no English.
And you
nothing.
have to appreciate the ingenuity
Mhm.
Yeah.
of Hispanics, right?
Yeah.
You know, is that's I'm saying that
Latinos,
right?
Hispanics,
Latinos,
yeah.
Hispanics, right? Then man, these people, oh my God,
Yeah.
they make something out of nothing.
And they group
make shit
economic
work,
like nobody
for
else.
sure.
Yeah.
you
Nah.
For
know.
sure. I fuck
No,
with
I
that
got
Spanish.
nothing but love. And
For
I grew up
sure.
in California, and my dad worked as a construction person and
Mhm.
contractor. So I grew up, framing houses and shit and
Yeah.
working side by side with
Yeah.
Latino dudes all day long. It's like, this is
Man.
my brothers
Like
right
Ice
here.
Yeah.
Cube
They
said,
getting it.
no, it was a Tupac. You know what I'm saying? Where would LA be without Mexicans? You know what
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah,
Like,
for
Brown
real.
love,
yeah, for sure. Brown
Black
love.
pride, and
Yeah.
us again.
So like I said, going back to ignorance, right? Sometimes, and I'm not,
I don't
I'm
support ignorance
I'm
or
not,
racism. So I guess that's just
Mhm.
where
but
I'm
we've
at.
all been ignorant, we've all been ignorant,
But is your
we've all
ignorance
we've all
hateful or
No.
hurt?
misspoke, but no.
No.
So like, think about it. One, and I'm not, again, I repeat, I'm not absolving him of
Playing
anything.
devil's advocate. I
Yeah,
feel it.
but when I said mulatto, I
Mhm.
didn't, I did not know it was offensive. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So now, what if somebody ran with that and said, "Oh, Court, he's racist."
Mhm.
He said mulatto. It's like, oh
Mhm.
no, I didn't know.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I think if it's ignorance on his part, and
Mhm.
Jesus Christ, he's ignorant a lot,
A lot.
and he's the
Yeah.
figurehead of our
Yeah.
country.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
I just
Yeah.
that's not, because no matter what, whether you choose to vote or not,
Right.
or what,
Right.
like that's still a figurehead of how we
For
are looked
sure.
at
For sure.
globally.
Yes.
For sure, he's
I-
held to a higher standard.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
I need
For
I
sure.
need to hold that person to a higher standard
Yeah.
in my book, where it's
Yeah.
like, fuck,
But-
man, again,
But
another
even
one.
still, nobody, us as humans, we're not infallible. So
Mhm.
it's just like, for instance, I've ran across older white people who still say colored. You know what I'm saying?
That's
And
crazy.
Especially in Missouri.
yeah,
Yeah.
especially in Missouri. Now, you know what? I don't get offended, and I don't feel no kind of way, because I understand where they come from. They don't mean it like that. It's just their era, and we
Mhm.
got to
I
remember.
know white people that still say Indian. Talk about Native Americans, they're like, oh, the Indians. I'm like,
Well, Missouri, they say engines. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
so
Engines.
serious.
When you hear a
Yeah.
white person in Missouri say Missouri, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Missouri.
you know, engines coming next.
Yeah. You know
And
what I mean?
colored.
A lot coming
And
next.
colored. Yeah.
damn.
And colored. So, but when I see they 80, 90 years old, I understand. You know what I mean? So are they ignorant, or is it just so, even with Agent Orange, like, he's from a different era too. We got to remember,
That
Trump
is
is up
true.
there. He's up there.
That is
So
true.
his
He's in the 70s?
sensibilities,
Yeah.
his sensibility is a little bit
And the
different.
propaganda at that time
Mhm.
was a lot more extreme towards people
Exactly.
of color.
Well, I
for
mean,
sure.
and then he
his
came, and then
fucking
he's a New
father was
Yorker.
a fucking slumlord, though.
But
wasn't he?
then, but
Yes.
that's what I'm saying. But then he's a New Yorker
Yes.
too, So
Yeah.
you got to understand that brash type
Mhm.
of mentality and attitude.
Yes.
So
I like you said you lived in Vegas, you worked at Trump Tower. I worked in New York. I've been working in entertainment for a long time. I won't name the shows because then I'll start to name companies and other people. But I was
he used to
working.
call me. Oh, go ahead.
I was working on a show, and everyone on my show was the same people that was doing The Apprentice, because it
Mhm.
was like this.
Yeah.
There was a big show
Yeah.
that I was on,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and that crew in New York. When you're working on a big show, typically you get the same cam ops, audio guys. And so, like, this is way before political aspirations.
Mhm.
People would be like, man, that dude is such a fucking piece of shit.
Mhm.
Just these are like crew guys, like this is my camera
Yeah.
guys and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are people who was just like, hey man, how was the shoot the other day? And they're like, man, fuck that show. And then I'd be like, well, why? And it was him. It was
Mhm.
like, he's such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He's like
Did they say he's racist, or he's just a piece of shit?
just a bit misogynistic. Like,
Oh,
piece of
yeah.
Well, we
shit.
know that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but
we know
like,
that.
sure.
yeah, everybody knows that. But then you just go like,
Yeah.
I get that exists in the world, but should it be the representation of us as a country?
I agree.
No, I don't agree
I don't
with
think
that.
it should.
That-
I don't
so-
think it should.
So
Yeah.
is he all out racist? Is he all out sexist? Is he all out? I don't know. I don't even
Right.
care to spend my
Right.
time trying to know.
Mhm.
I know enough to know that I don't want that to be the representation of us.
Right.
And I'll come under fire because I
Mhm.
also don't think, I think Barack, who I voted for twice,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
is an eloquent speaker.
For
Absolutely.
sure.
He was also
Yeah.
bombing the shit out of the Middle East and doing a lot, doing
Yeah.
a lot of shit,
Yeah.
drinking a glass of water in Flint, being
Mhm.
like,
But he
"Every-
killed
every-"
one of the who was it? Osama?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
they got Osama.
Yeah.
He did a lot of great things, but
Yeah.
again, as a spokesperson, it's like,
Mhm.
well,
But you
he
know
could-
why?
He could speak.
Because, and I feel like it just shows the difference. Trump is a white man that's in America that's came up with money. He has
He just
been
be a
living his
fucking-
life the way he's want to live it his entire life because
Yeah,
he
for sure.
doesn't have to worry about the same things. We
Right.
already know if Obama did a fraction, You know what I mean?
Anything.
Anything.
a smidgen.
Yeah.
You know what I
smidgen,
mean?
I
yeah.
think that people through
Impeach.
this entire thing,
They
It was-
tried to impeach
I was
him
about to say,
on
didn't
what
they?
his name or it was
the
some
birthright,
the birthright.
shit,
They
like,
tried
they
to
did-
impeach him. Yeah,
And even
so-
remember when he first got in office, they was like, okay, he 30 days in office, 90 days in office. They was countdown. And I'm like, y'all didn't do this for no other
that's
president
true.
like
Yeah,
that.
that's true.
You see what I'm saying? You're
Yeah.
under a microscope. So I'm not even gonna just say just black people, just people of color. Like, it's a different way that you gotta present.
Absolutely.
Period.
So
Yeah.
back to the point. That's why I don't think that we should uphold people and lift them up who like push that agenda back.
Yeah.
You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And
Yeah.
I feel like he does that. But at the end of the day, I do think that we are a business. This country is a business, and some of those values,
Mm-hmm.
some of the, let's say, conservative values, not his,
Mhm.
but like some of those things I've never disagreed with.
Yes.
Right.
There's a lot of Republicans that I would be like, dude, we have more in common
Yeah.
than you would care to believe, because I
right.
do believe in a lot of this shit.
Right.
When you intertwine too much of the bullshit, then
Yeah.
we lose each other.
But here's
Exactly,
the thing.
because they
go ahead.
politicize everything, and everything is about it.
If you go too far left or right,
yeah,
They have to make it like
Yeah.
that though. And that's what I'm saying.
and
I feel
nothing
like
gets done. you know?
nothing, but that's what I feel like
Mhm.
it's for. I feel like the
Mhm.
whole Republican Democrat thing, like, is really just, it's to create the illusion that even us as people, like, we have a choice in the matter. Like, we
Mhm.
want y'all to spend the time, we want the media to pump out all of this. It's all to generate energy, money, and attention. But really, at the end of the day, y'all gonna do what y'all want to do regardless, because this has been in play for years, because
Mhm.
they're making business decisions for generations to come, because they're solidifying their wealth for their family. Like, we still have people sitting on Congress that are 80, 90 years old,
Right.
so
You got a
You know-
Supreme. You can't even get rid of Supreme Court justices.
yeah.
It's
You know what gets
appointed for
tiring
life.
and draining?
Hmm.
It's just when you really think about all this shit, man, the world is just so divided. It's just divisiveness
Yes.
across
Of course,
just
yeah.
every, politically, racial, ageism,
Class.
classism,
Yeah.
sexism, it's draining. It's like,
It
God
is.
damn, can we just all unfuck our minds and just be people and just be humans,
Because
with
nobody
a-
getting out of here alive.
Right. None of us are making it out here alive. And we all have a common goal of wanting to live good lives and want to provide and be happy. Like,
That's
it's
that
just
is a
fucking
common
draining.
thread. Like, if you were to just talk to people, and I've been fortunate enough to travel a lot in life, and it's like every country, every place you touch down, and it's like, yeah, it's men and women raising their children, spending
Mhm.
time with their
Yep.
relatives and loved ones. Like, we're all trying to do the same shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why we pull at each other so much?
But
and
I'm
break
gonna
each
be
other?
honest with you. Moving out the country as I get older becomes a little more appealing,
Doesn't it?
because you don't have to. I mean, I love the United States, but you don't have to worry about a lot of shit in other countries. I mean,
Mhm.
even as simple as healthcare. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You don't have the same, like when you talk about, the gun rights. You know what I'm saying? Like how we were saying. I tell people all the time, it's no law, it's no legislation that's going to stop any
No.
type of gun violence, right? What has to change is the hearts and minds of people.
Mhm.
There are more guns, than there are people.
Yes.
And like Ice Cube said, shit, my AK, it wasn't registered anyway, which is the truth. Like I know, since I was
Yeah.
a teenager, I've had everything under the sun.
Yes.
So it's out there, you have access to it, but we gotta unfuck our minds, man, and
Mhm.
unfuck our hearts. Like, the older I get, it becomes so fucking draining. It's
I actually do believe you could pass legislation that could change shit, but
Like
it's
what?
drastic. And
Like what?
there would be Australia.
Mhm.
Think about Australia. What do you think about when you think about Australia?
Kangaroos.
Crocodile
Outback,
Dundee.
Crocodile Dundee,
Yeah.
masculine men and all
Kangaroo,
that shit.
yeah,
They
uh-huh.
had guns. Like,
Right.
they
Mhm.
had guns, no different.
For sure.
In the 96, mid 90s, they had a mass shooting. Port Arthur.
Mhm.
You could go look it up. It's in Port
Mhm.
Arthur. Port Arthur was the town.
Mhm.
Mass shooting. They fucking outlawed guns right after that.
Right.
Immediately, they were like, y'all don't. There was guns everywhere.
Right.
Mhm.
And they had exchange programs, all sorts of shit where they were
Yeah.
like, you guys can't handle them, taking them all away.
But
And they fucking,
Mhm.
their violence is,
Mhm.
gun violence is almost non-existent. over there.
here's the thing though. I don't think a large part of their economy is based on the prison system. So
Mhm.
that's what I'm saying. So that's why
Yeah.
going back to politics, and no,
Right.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like it continues to twist up on itself because okay, y'all say y'all want to eliminate all this crime,
Yeah.
but yet everything that y'all do puts people in the position to have to commit crimes, or
Yeah.
the culture really
Right.
placates to you committing crimes so that you can put these people in the prison system. Now you got free labor.
Right.
Now you got the states paying for them, so it's like, and so much of our economy comes out of the prison system. So
Right.
it's almost like a setup. You see what I'm saying? So really, like, and I agree with what you're saying, but it's like the reform that in my opinion that would have to happen, I mean, from the top down, it would just be, I don't want to say it's unrealistic, but I don't
It's
think they want to lose out on billions
It's
of
in-
dollars.
but
it's
it's
a business.
impossible though.
Mhm.
Even with that, right? Because Jamaica did the same thing. Jamaica outlawed guns, and if your ass get caught with one, you going to prison. Period. Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But think about that. In this country, like I say, I think it's hearts and minds because we still have mandatory minimums with drugs. We
Mhm.
still have, people
Mhm.
kill people every day knowing they're gonna go to prison. So that doesn't
Yes.
stop anything.
Yeah.
None of this shit, none of this man-made shit stops
Mhm.
anything.
Yeah.
And
Well, that goes
and they
back to
could,
just being we are a divided racist country. We've been
yeah.
that for a long time.
Yeah, I think
Like,
it's just the spirit of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're just innately, not we, but people, are innately sometimes evil.
Savage.
is
Yeah.
it
Savage. Yeah.
is it part of like our I'll say some unpopular shit.
Please.
Is that the American dream though? At work, like the manifest destiny of like think about we took this. This was not a land that was unoccupied.
Right.
Yeah.
Like not I'll say we as white people, even though my people came way later, but like
Well, white people ain't gonna be fucking with you.
I
Right?
know.
Man, he blames us for everything.
but I mean
Fucking traitor.
this was not it was not an unoccupied land. It was
Yeah.
stolen
Right.
land.
Yeah.
Right.
Stolen and then
Because war is so much money. And that's the
Yeah.
thing. War is and I think when people think of war, they always think of, overseas. But it's like there's war here on your own soil every single day, every
Every
time you
day.
step
Yeah.
outside the house.
And it's several types of war.
Yeah.
It's economic war. It's
Yeah.
spiritual war. It's mental war.
Medical wars.
Yeah, medical wars.
So
Absolutely.
you have a land that we stole
Mhm.
and was taken.
Mhm.
Whoever was responsible, it's white folks.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah. The British.
so you have that, and then you have the fucking slave trade,
Mhm.
and then you have like 400 plus years of slavery,
Mhm.
and then you have civil rights and hate, and then I mean, look, man, at the end of the day, like people are always struggling just to be heard here
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
this country, whether you're gay, whether you're a
Yeah.
person, whether you're a person of color, whether you're a Latino and they're trying to build a wall. Like we are a hateful group of people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We are
for sure.
a fucking.
That's why I say it's the mind and it's the
Yeah.
heart, man. And we
But our country has never been it from inception.
Yes. I agree.
Like the dream of this country is just to fucking take,
Yeah.
build,
Yes.
Yeah.
build. It's that capitalism
It's ingrained.
that we.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. That's why I say we gotta unfuck our minds.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but how
'cause
do you
at
do
some
that
point,
here? Or is it just too late?
I
There's
mean,
a lot
because
of
at some
people.
point we eat ourselves, we destroy ourselves, we
Mhm.
implode.
Yes.
So, and I think we're heading there.
All great empires have lasted about 400 or 500 years. If you
Uh-huh.
look through the history of like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Etruscans, Persians, Romans, Greeks,
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
like we're getting close. we're getting close.
Right.
So transitioning. So
Mhm.
who's your top 5? Your top 5 rappers.
Oh,
of all-
shit.
Oh, man.
Big transition. Back to rap.
Back to rap.
Yes.
Back to bullshit.
Back to bullshit. It's a
Can I-
podcast, rap podcast.
Can I do groups too? Can I just do my top 5 what I listen to?
Yeah, your top 5.
Wait, do they have to be old or new?
It
Can
don't
be-
matter.
Dead or alive.
Oh man, that's hard. Okay, that's hard.
A millennial that grew up on 90s gangster
I
rap.
know, and it's so funny when we was doing the interview with Snoopy Badass,
Uh-huh.
and he was talking about the 90s. I said, man, I kind of feel him because what's funny is it took me a minute to transition into newer rap a little
Mhm.
bit.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get it.
Mhm.
It was especially with the auto tune and
Well, you didn't have your own ear, you had his ear.
Yeah, I was like,
That's true.
okay, what is this? And then I'm not a clubber too, so it really
Yeah.
didn't apply. So I'm
Uh-huh.
like, I don't know where this fit in my life, but I mean, none of it really did. But I would say my type, what I listen to the most is I love Ghetto Boys. Ghetto
Mhm.
Boys,
Mhm.
Willie D. Scarface, R.P. Bushwick Bill. Got to meet Bushwick Bill.
Yeah,
Remember,
he
brother
stayed
looked
with
at
us
him
for about a
crazy.
week.
Yes,
He stayed with us for about a week.
that was cool. Yeah, I love anything the Ghetto Boys do. Like it's because I love old school 90s rap because it really just shows like the wittiness and like they
Yeah.
were articulate.
Mhm.
I love
Ghetto Boys storytellers. Too,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
that storytelling rap.
And it was funny. Like Willie D is a fool. Yeah, I love Ghetto Boys. I love Bone Thugs, and I love their individual projects too. So I'm gonna just go ahead and group everybody so I could cheat because I like Crazy Bone, I like Busy Bone. They independent projects. We just talked about this
Mhm.
in the car. DJ Quick, Pete, I don't think he get enough like airtime.
Ooh,
I love me
he
some
hasn't been on
DJ
the list
Quick.
yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love DJ Quick.
Yeah.
You used to
Yeah.
when we first moved to LA,
Uh-huh.
especially in Brentwood, I don't know, you was on like a DJ
Yep.
Quick kick
Yep. I
because we had
was.
you had the Corvette, you had the
Uh-huh.
Benz, you
Yeah.
was feeling yourself.
I remember the Corvette.
Yeah, the black on the triple
Yep,
black
yep,
Corvette.
with the
Yeah.
black
DJ
rims.
Quick is
Yeah.
Born and
fucking
raised in
hard.
Compton.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I even differ from you though, because I'll go
Mhm.
all the way through rhythmalism and
Yeah.
trauma and like all.
Yeah.
I was fucking.
Yeah.
I've been fucking with Quick forever.
Yeah. Then it was the other one. Was it Balancing Options?
Yeah.
Yeah. But go ahead. So
Yeah.
that's DJ Quick.
DJ Quick. So I got Bone Thugs, Get Up Boys, DJ Quick. Okay, I got two more, so I need to be strategic. Who else do I listen to the most? I do like a lot of LA. I like UGK. You
Mhm.
bump UGK a
Yeah.
lot. Pimp C, rest in
Yeah.
peace,
Yeah.
Bun B. I like smart, articulate niggas. So yeah, I like UGK. Dang,
Did they make the list? Are you putting that on the list?
I'm putting that on the list.
Damn,
Number
This is a
5.
group list.
Yeah, I like
The
because I
Ghetto
like
Boys, Bone, and
NWA.
It sure
UGK.
is. Not I just
It's
said,
a
yeah,
whole-
it sure is.
Yeah.
It's the top 5 groups.
Yeah, the top 5 groups. And I would say my 5th and final. See, that's hard. It's really close between Spice and Brother Lynch. Like I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I know
'cause
Spice
like
is his
both.
number 1.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do like Spice because I like it's his flow. It was just because even as a kid too, when I heard it, like I just thought it was, and then his bass lines with his
Okay,
beat. I'm like,
yeah.
nobody raps like that.
So listen,
Spice
can you
One.
do the
D-
stutter?
d- 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 d-
Can you do the first verse?
No,
Stuffing
no.
them in the brain
No.
with the nine.
No,
Never
I
would-
can't do so. I like I like East Bay G's. I
East Bay
like
Gangsta.
Kill 'em All. Yeah, East Bay Gangsters. Kill 'em All. You played that a lot.
Yeah.
Kill 'em All. Kill 'em All.
That was
Everybody dies on this
1996.
mother
1996.
album.
1996 was hard.
Yep.
But yeah, I like that because no, the first
Now,
song.
we a group of motherfuckers that know that era.
Yes.
I'm over here like, oh, 1996. That's a hard album.
But no, the
Who know
song
that?
used to play. You used to play this out. It's like Rude Bear, one of a kind. Spice
Yeah.
one's up in the
Peace
house
to
with
my
the
nine.
niggity nine in the
Yep.
trip in the clip. Motherfucker trying to play me yet they
You
calling
better
me
be
they
a
nigga.
nigga.
Should
Yep.
I get the AK and dump like Trey?
Jack.
Should I
Yeah.
just reanimate? Yeah. So I love Spice. Oh, but you know who I do like too? Who I know
Mhm.
I know I'm way past top 5, but individually, Pastor Troy.
Oh,
Pastor
okay.
Troy got
Shout
to
out
know.
to PT.
Yeah, he got so many. No, I have a whole.
Didn't he have beef with
Yeah.
P?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
he had beef
wow!
with No
Sorry,
Limit.
P.
Yeah.
Sorry, Uncle P. But yeah,
we
I
fuck
love.
with PT though. Shout out to PT.
I love Pastor Troy. I have a
Mhm.
lot of Pastor Troy in my
Yeah.
phone.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Because
that's
what was the song I put
me
you up
acting
on?
up. Yeah,
Nah, the
I
first
got that
one,
attitude, Justin.
the attitude of
Yeah.
justice. I
But hold
fucked
on though, you
something
didn't
up.
say if it was Spice or Lynch to hit that 5th spot.
Dang, why you gonna circle
Yeah,
back?
no,
was
I
trying
gotta
to
circle
say,
back. She trying to be slick. Somebody gotta drop out.
I say Spice. I gotta roll with Spice.
That's not a
I
bad
got it
we
right.
choice.
shared
Spice.
we shared number one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we shared top
My
one.
number 1, I tell him all the time, and still to this day, E40.
E40.
Man, okay.
E40.
40, bro.
E40's cool.
40,
Yeah, but I ain't
Mr.
gonna
Flamboyant.
lie. When I
yeah.
was just gonna say
Yeah.
that, I ain't gonna lie, man. When I first heard Mr. Flamboyant, I remember Franco. Franco put me up on the
Oh,
click.
shoot.
Franco put me up on a click. He was like, "Yeah, man, you gotta hear this Mr. Flamboyant." Man, I played that shit out.
Yeah, I was there.
Mr. Flamboyant.
Man.
yeah.
I'm just a hustler
40.
on the go.
Yeah, yeah.
40.
Yeah.
To
Trying
me-
get
to
my
me-
Too short,
proper,
too short. You
don't
played a lot
know?
of Too Short
I
too.
did,
Oh
I
my
did.
God.
Too Short
Cuss
is that guy,
words,
too.
freaky
Cuss
tales.
words.
Dude.
Yeah.
You know, your mother, when I was on house arrest,
Uh-huh.
your mother brought me Shorty the Pimp. That Shorty the Pimp album.
Yeah, that shit was hard.
it in the trunk?
Yup.
Yep, in the trunk. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm too Sacramento with it. My list is all just
Bay.
biased. No, it's biased because I go.
Yes.
Look, I'm not Sacramento in the sense that I have to give respect to 40.
Mhm.
Spice is also in my top
Mhm.
5,
Yeah.
but then my other 3 is all sex. Rated lynchable.
Mm-hmm.
It's,
Yeah.
very very biased. I've said it for 20 fucking
Yeah.
years, but like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up on that.
But y'all got some heavyweights in Sac though.
Yeah.
Sac, yeah, especially during that era, man. Y'all had a run.
Other than E40 at
Mhm.
number 1, I've never organized them.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna tell you, after we talked to Bo, and I just, I've been playing it, I was like, man, Bo might be in a number 2 spot.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he was our
Straight
Ice
killer?
Cube.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I
yeah.
feel like he was our Ice Cube.
Absolutely.
Yes.
He was like our
Absolutely.
Yeah.
NorCal Ice
Yeah,
Cube.
for sure.
Like,
For sure. But a little more authentic, you know. Not a knock it cube, but I'm
no,
saying,
no,
you know,
Bo
yeah.
real with it though.
Yeah, that he real with that shit.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot, man. That's
That's a
hard
good that's a
though.
good top 5 though. It's a
What
lot
do
of
you
groups.
what do you think about like you being raised on what I raised you on, the 90s shit? What do you think about the new music and the culture as a whole? Because I mean, these are still kind of your peers, but
Yeah, I know that's weird.
But yeah, I know, right? But you were kind of raised with a OG older sensibility, you know. Because let me tell y'all, her favorite group is actually Temptations.
Oh yeah, man.
But you
That's
know,
of all time.
so
And I got
she's
to
in the
speak to Otis.
60s. Yeah, she
Yeah.
got to speak to Otis
Temptations
Williams.
is legit.
Yes.
But what is your take on today's, you know, climate, music, and just the overall culture?
You know, so like I said before, it did take me a minute to transition. I'm not gonna lie, because I started realizing, especially when you start getting around people, and then when I got to high school, because remember we first moved to LA, and I assumed that everybody from LA knew the same artists that I knew too, just because y'all from LA.
Right.
And
But
they
you
just
listening to old shit.
Yeah, but I'm listening to old LA, and they kind of like, I mean, yeah, we know a little bit of Straight Outta Compton, but they didn't know like the heavy hitters or like
Right.
the albums, and so I was like, okay, I'm a little bit, out of pocket. But
What was that? Dog Food? Was that the Dog Pound's first album?
Yeah.
That motherfucker was so hard.
Yeah, I didn't play a lot of Dog Pound.
Oh no, hey, that was hard.
I know, it's crazy too. Like even when people be like one of my dudes, his dad was like, like he was big on East Coast music, and so I mean, outside of like LL and
Right.
50 and a little
Right.
bit of Big Daddy Kane, I'm like,
Right.
Yeah.
shoot,
'Cause
I don't know.
get
Like you
lost.
never
You know,
played
I
it.
never played that shit. I never played
He
it.
never played it. Like I started having to get on East Coast a little bit when I
What's
got
that,
older.
what's the MCA line? That shit get no play in this rap.
Yeah, East Coast just didn't appeal to me, other than Beanie Siegel, LL Cool J, DMX.
Oh yeah,
Um,
DMX is
I it really, and I respect those cats, but
Same.
it
Same.
just I didn't identify with it.
I respect the knowledge and the
Mhm.
the articulation. I like the culture of the East Coast rap,
Mhm.
but no, nowadays
it's a different sound. It's that
It
boom bap
is.
sound too.
Yeah, it's hip hop. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
break beats. It's
Yeah.
not.
I was just trying to explain this to someone the other
Mhm.
day because I was like, when I was young, I would say I didn't like East Coast music.
right.
That's not necessarily true. I was young,
Mm-hmm.
but the sound, like
Yeah.
we were playing. I literally was
sure.
like, all right, let's look at stuff from the same era, and
Mhm.
we played Illmatic
Mhm.
and that boom bap sound,
Mhm.
and then you hear the keys on like
Right.
Ice Cube's music or whatever else, and it's like
Yes.
this is funk
Right.
Yes.
and that's hip hop,
yes.
and they were just different sounds.
Because what it is hip hop and East Coast, they use a lot of break beats. They use scratching. It was really
Mhm.
hip hop. Whereas West Coast, they started using chords.
It's a groove.
Dre, yeah, he was using bass lines and actual chords, and like you said, it was predicated in funk. It was a
Mhm.
groove, and you could appreciate that. It was
Yeah.
music, and you see, Puffy caught on. That's
Mhm.
why he, started sampling
Yes.
Juicy and all these records, because he was like, man, okay, that boom bap, that's hip hop, but we need some big records,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's always gonna translate.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, I was listening to what was the Ice Cube one, the Bop Gun with
Yeah.
Parliament on the
Now,
album. You know what I mean?
Ironically, Ice Cube's first solo album, America's Most Wanted, was
Mhm.
produced by the Bomb Squad, who was a East Coast production team.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
didn't know that.
Yeah, because there was a space in between. You had East Coast, but if you think about early West Coast rap before kind of the Chronic, they still were using a lot of samples.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't break beats, it was a groove, but it was still samples, because Ice Cube's shit, that whole America's Most Wanted, all that shit is samples, because that's what they would do, digging in the crates. They would go
Like
through the records.
CMW.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to them too. I like
Shout out to
CMW too.
CMW,
MCA.
yeah. So they would go, but even still with
Mhm.
CMW,
Mhm.
a lot of the samples were still music, as we was just listening
Yes,
to.
that's-
Them
yeah.
sampling Anita Baker, it was still a
Mhm.
groove. But Ice Cube's first album, man, that was all just little parts of take this little 4
Mhm.
bars and piece it with this.
Mhm.
But yeah, East Coast, I mean, shout out to him, because that is
Yeah.
a skill within itself, to
It
be able
is.
to take just random shit and make something.
Yeah.
But it never appealed to me though.
Yeah.
really.
So nah, it's cool. I mean, now, I like it. I mean, I gotta be in the mood for it. It's just more so I just gotta be in the mood for it. Like I don't, and it sucks because I don't really go now that I'm, older and I'm having to navigate, men and the culture and people. God, don't drag me,
Uh,
don't get me drugged. Yeah, it's just harder because I have an old ear, and I just had to accept that I got an
yeah.
old ear. Because even when I'll start listening to like your Futures and your
Uh-huh.
Drakes, your Roddy Riches, and some of the LA rappers, but then I'll end up just going back to the
Yeah.
'90s and
Yeah.
bumping out
What do
on
you
that.
think about 21 Savage saying that Nas was irrelevant? Which
Oh
that
God,
wasn't his complete statement, but
what was
you
the
know.
complete statement?
Well, what he said and how I took it
Hmm.
in context, how I heard it was he was saying that Nas is irrelevant in terms of it's not like how it was. He's not all over the media. He's not like how Drake is,
Oh,
but he said he makes good ass music and has a loyal fan base.
I was just about to say,
Yeah.
I mean, you can't when we talk about relevancy, and there's the thing too, and it's just like I was telling you in the car, like this generation, and I'll be fair, and I'm all for millennials. Like I
Mhm.
stand 10 toes down with us too, but I'm fair. Like y'all, I keep going back to it. We got the internet, y'all. Like it's so easy to become relevant and popular. I mean, they could start doing dances with your song now, you trending.
Mhm.
But it speaks volumes when 20, 30 years later, man
Mhm.
got a loyal fan base that'll
Right.
still come out,
Right.
for his music. And let's just be real, it's a lot of rappers of today, we don't know where they're gonna be in 10 years. You don't
Yeah.
know if your fan base is gonna show up for you in
It's
10,
true.
20, 30 years.
Right. Right.
So I don't know what even prompted I guess the comment,
Yeah, you
but
had to catch the full conversation, which I hadn't heard either.
mhm.
But the thing about it, my issue with it is I don't have an issue with what he said, even if
Mhm.
he meant it how people are saying it. It's his opinion, right?
Mhm.
But my issue is how irresponsible the media is.
Yeah.
Again,
That's why I
that
asked, what'd he
device.
say? What was
Yeah, that
the
divisiveness, like
Mhm.
because then they changed the context even more because they put
Mhm.
21 says he's irrelevant. And it's like, come on, man. He didn't mean it
Yeah.
like that. But even if he did, it's his fucking
Oh
opinion. Why
well.
are you gaslighting? You know what I mean? So cause that shit can bleed over. You don't know what type of ripple effect that could
Yeah.
have. And then Nas's brother Jungle, he shot back saying, well, nigga, you garbage. And
Oh,
how
nah,
niggas
see,
is with
and
egos,
that was
right?
divisive for
It
no
was
reason.
divisive for no
I
fucking
don't like
reason.
that.
Again, this is the only genre of music that tear each other down
They
though, like
tear
that.
each other down,
Like
bro.
why would it be a
And I
bad
Tear
like
each
thing?
other
21.
down.
Why would
21
it?
Yeah.
got bops.
21 is one of
Yeah.
my favorite new
Yeah.
school,
Hey,
I do like
young
21.
niggas.
the
21.
Drake and 21 is a good
Oh
album.
yeah,
Yeah.
for
That's a good
sure.
album.
21's last album, Savage Mode 2, was man, you can listen through it through and through. I
Mhm.
fuck with 21
Yeah.
But why is it always comparison? What I think too, I feel
Is
like
not having a loyal fan base also longevity?
exactly,
Right.
You know what I
and
mean? Like the
the
fact
ability
that
to
they're
pivot.
yeah.
Like you
Right.
said, like it's
Right.
okay for these rappers to, become businessmen and step outside. Here's the thing, it's okay for them to step back and say, okay, you know what, it's daytime now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
I got businesses, I got other
Right.
ventures. Like I'll come and drop an album when I feel
Yeah.
like
And
it.
he just
Yeah.
dropped an album that people are saying are hot, that's
Mhm.
hot. So I don't know,
I
man.
mean,
It's
Jeezy's an older rapper and he got a hot album
I
right
heard.
now.
Mhm.
I heard. What is
Mhm.
it, Snow or
Snowfall.
Yeah.
Snowfall,
It's
right?
dope. I
Right.
just
I
went and
heard
listened to
that.
it.
I just get tired of the divisiveness. I mean, I tell you, boy, and that's why with this platform, man, I wanted to change the narrative. Like, I
Mhm.
don't want to do that. I don't want to tear nobody down or you know what I'm saying? I mean, we can
Mhm.
still speak truth and we can have opinions and
Mhm.
conversation about shit, but
It's building blocks,
we
right?
don't
Like
have to
Yes.
like we can challenge people's opinion. Like, think about it. We can challenge even if we disagree with 21. We can
Mhm.
challenge what he said. We'll say, okay, let's talk about the issue. But they
Mhm.
don't do that. It's now
Yes.
fuck 21. Fuck
Mhm.
him. Or yeah, Nas is garbage and
Because
he's
everybody chasing the
old.
algorithm.
But even in the comments, they ain't chasing no algorithm. They just negative and miserable.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
You know
true.
what I'm saying? So it's
yeah.
like that shit just gets old. That's it. That's
Yeah.
all
Well,
I
we
got
should
to
be
say.
that and the political shit and religion,
Mhm.
everything we're talking about is all just like, can we just have conversations?
Conversation,
Can
No.
we
bro.
just have
That's it.
conversations?
Conversation rules the
Where
nation.
yeah,
Yeah, you
like,
said
hey man, whether it's the Trump or the
yeah.
21 or whatever, it's not that I'm against every
Right.
conservative.
Right.
I just
Right.
don't me personally, I don't fall in line with these
Mhm.
things. It
Exactly.
ain't that we talking bad about 21, but maybe that's
Right.
not even out of context or
Mhm.
in context, maybe that's not the conversation we should be having.
Real talk.
But
Yeah.
can we even talk about it? That's the hard part right now.
Exactly.
Like,
People get too emotional. They get
yeah,
caught up in their feelings. And it's like, that's what that's what I'm saying too. Like, even just in general, like, I don't mind a difference of opinion. I love unpopular opinions because now it opens up the door to more conversation and more perspectives. And I'm like,
yeah,
man, I didn't even think about it that
Right.
way,
Right.
and you can expand your horizons. But sometimes too, just in general, I think people always want to feel tall standing on somebody else. And that becomes the problem. Rather it's, oh, we came from the same place, so you need to be where I'm at. How you get there? We was both here, or and it's like we don't, just like the DJ that just tried to get at Kelly Rowland sideways.
oh yeah,
You know what I mean? I was fuming in my. You thought that was my homegirl. I was
yeah,
sitting there fuming, and I'm like, the audacity on you. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
To sit up here and say, and that's why I'm glad she said, like, yeah, well, her best friend is one of the biggest stars in the world too. Like, why are you trying to create this division? Just for the sake,
Yeah.
well, what?
yeah.
So what can we expect? Now we got Niecy, your daughter.
Well,
we got her in the house. So
Well, listen, I knew this was something that she could do. I knew she was armed with the tools to be able to pull this off and come into our world and bring something to the table. I was confident at that. I
You
wonder
were.
why, but
shocker.
right. But no,
Mhm.
I think that it'll be great. We appreciate you adding perspective, and bringing some feminine energy, some alpha feminine
Thank you.
energy, to to the table, and
Yeah.
again, a young perspective as
Mhm.
well, a younger perspective, because like I said, you could be considered an OG with the youngster. You know what I'm saying? I'm just
young-
saying.
A young
Yeah.
OG.
For
I know a
real.
young
Like,
OG.
at 30, yeah, especially in rap years. In
Yeah.
rap
Oh
years, you
yeah,
would be
for
an old
sure,
nigga.
for
You know what I
sure,
mean?
for
Yeah.
sure.
So yeah, we appreciate and yes, I am going to take the credit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But what I want to highlight on this
We're giving
is
Court his flowers.
Yes.
no.
Yes.
Well, these are my flowers,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
So, but
that's a
but
great way of putting it.
yeah, but what it is I just like to show the young niggas and show the world that, because I've always felt like I represented the niggas that evolve. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
when you see that I had a child young and transcended so many things, and then people can see how articulate you are, how intelligent you are, how
Oh,
well
thank you.
versed you are,
Thank
and you got your own thing going on, and even I think, let's see, so we making history. We're the first daughter dad podcast situation.
Mhm.
We
Oh
making
shoot.
history right now.
I didn't think
don't
about it
know
like
it's
that.
been
And
done.
the rap game for
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, let me see. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not up on
You
every
may
podcast.
be right.
Mhm.
You may be right. Yeah. I mean, definitely rap. I ain't never seen that done.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But even in
There
podcasts,
could be a podcast I don't know. So
I don't.
Mhm.
Not that I've seen.
But
not
I
a
definitely ain't
popular-
That's
seen-
relevant.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. A popular one.
Yeah.
So I'm
that
Yeah.
motherfucker ain't
I'm
relevant
right.
though.
yeah. So I'm curious to see, just how it unfolds, and I know she's gonna do great things with her business. And man, yeah, the world. This is my child. This is Rachel Renee, my oldest daughter.
Glad to
Yes.
have you on the
Product
show.
of me.
you.
Yeah,
I'm
glad to have you
excited.
on the
Stay
show.
tuned. She's gonna be part of a lot of future. Well, we already talked about.
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
on the Melly Mel one, but
Yeah, for sure.
she'll
Y'all
be
see
part.
her on other things. So yeah, we excited to see about what's coming. So glad to have you on, daughter.
Thank you.
Producer Ken, Rachel Renee, Big Court, Holdin Court podcast, man. Man, it's great things for the new year. So
Yes.
Yeah.
y'all tap in.
All in
Yeah,
the family.
for sure.
All right.
I'm holding court, it's standing trial. Why ain't I see you round back when I was down? Karma's on the way. What goes around comes around. Karma's on the way. There's nothing you could do now. You gotta pay.